a.m. in the morning. Like you
That's true.
Just give me a little
I'll
bit.
cut you some slack. I mean, it's just I want to see something different. Of course, these teams, it's very important for them. They're playing for prize money. They're playing for, you know, the chance to get invited to more tournaments down the. Summer on the Snapfire on her own to be able to assist with taking towers.
Yeah, I really cannot fault the combination. I mean, you get stun, strong lane, saving Snapfire, some wave clear, team fight. Like, I legitimately feel like it fulfills all the voids. One thing you're probably missing is just maybe some movement and like easy initiation, like a low cooldown stun. Like Tide is exceptional when you get to that stage with Blink Ravage, and Army Geniuses going into the Weaver. This is something that NIGMA Galaxy actually really like often playing as a support to flex it, but AG feel like they're gonna be the ones to pick up. This is quite the minus armor strat.
It is, for sure. I think this is a position 1 Weaver this time around. I'm seeing a whole lot more success with it ever since they reduced the mana cost on Shikuchi. It just means that you don't need to itemize quite so much into the mana regen component. That's why something like a Storm Spirit is, because you get that Orchid and Chain lockdown to be able to burst someone down before they're able to, you know, break things up a little bit. But, you know, it can't be the Tide, which is the downside.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
The Spirit Hero is often one of the best heroes for Alacrity, whether it's the Ember, the Storm, the Void Spirit, whatever you want to give him, he's incredibly comfortable on. So at least gives you a nice way to initiate. They were lacking some magical damage as well, so huge fan. And the fact that Army Geniuses again don't have like an easy way to get that initial setup.
True, and if they are going to run this Weaver as a position 1, you kind of want him to be the one, you know, starting to at least hit towers when they're going for objectives, which makes things
Dire team pick.
situation. So maybe a saving support now is what they want to go for. Something that's able to break up some of this early initiation. That be Shadow Demon and Abaddon and Oracle. But don't hate the Abaddon, just because you're not going to be dooming a POS 5 Abaddon.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I think it's nice with the Weaver too, just having someone who can play as a body in front of him in the laning stage, give you at least some protection as well. Any melee ranged always a big fan of, but you know, back into at least some late game prowess in the Doom. We saw it earlier in the day to kind of counteract that Tide Hunter potential. Didn't have the greatest success, but I think the thought process there I liked a lot.
The formula was there, it just didn't work out in the end. And this time around, I mean, you've got the Weaver. I think you'll take that every single time. I kind of want to see the Omni Knight. I want to see Omni Knight come out here because they have nothing that's going to be able to get rid of the Heavenly Grace and the Guardian Angel. None of these heroes really like to go for Yules either, so I feel like it's going to be a pretty solid pickup for them. Okay, something a little different. It's actually going to be a support Weaver then.
Okay.
Don't hate it. I mean, time lapse for Doom, right?
I mean, that is a crap load of physical damage.
Yes.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always a big fan of a Wraith King against a lineup, or at least against a hero that's pretty reliant on your ultimate. So Doom now has to think twice if he wants to pop that ult here to deal with the Wraith King. More than likely, it's either going to be Azura hero or Wami's Tide Hunter that he's putting a lot more emphasis on. And and now for NIGMA Galaxy, what are some of the position 1s you're looking to pair up with the IO here?
Against a Wraith King, just something that's able to deal good sustained damage. So could look to go for something like a Life Stealer, perhaps. It's not bad against the Tide Hunter. You got some magic immunity to be able to counter into the Snapfire Tide lane. You can man fight quite well into the Wraith King. Don't hate it.
I like
You've got
Ursa
a
a
nice.
lot.
Yeah, Ursa's fine as well. I mean, you've got the vehicle in the Storm Spirit as well, which is another reason I like the. They get rid of the Ursa though.
Yeah, you got also Doom to be another vehicle, so it's a pretty decent combo in regards to the IO. Like, you're not the worst pairing at all. Just trying to think.
The only issue is catching the Weaver, right? But if it's a support Weaver, you don't really care all that much. As long as Storm Spirit's able to get the initial lockdown onto him.
Some of the other heroes that are going to be available here for In Your Dream. It has to be an Agi hero because you need to have the extra armor against all the minus armor from AG.
PA, maybe?
It's a pretty favorable Tide matchup though. It's the only concern.
Gyro, Troll.
Hey, Troll. Any like low cooldown, like not cooldown dependent, you know, Agi hero, tower taker as well. Not tower taker, but drawn out fights, Slark does favor.
It's an In Your Dream classic as well.
Banned out Lesh, which protects the Slark a lot. Ultra last pick though for Azura. What are some AoE damage that they can go for?
Shadow Fiend.
I rate that highly. I don't think there's much else that's really available.
And it gives you more minus armor in case you needed it.
I mean, the matchup versus Storm Spirit's pretty strong as well. You have a higher attack range, just easy way to set up for the razors. I honestly would be down if they go for a Shadow Fiend. It's something we see a lot more in China region if anyone's going to play it.
And it is that one that can, you know, stand with the good attack range that you mentioned. I'm going to go the Quap instead, just wanting a little bit more mobility, I suppose. I was thinking maybe it would be like the Boots of Travel. Would it be the Yule Scepter? But at least Boots of Travel, Shadow Fiend. I don't hate the Queen of Pain either. The downside is that it's not really going to be all that effective against In Your Dream outside of the Sonic Wave Scream of Pain combo. Like Dagger, it's just going to get purged off every single time.
Yeah, the matchup versus the Storm can kind of go back and forth. It is definitely Queen of Pain favored, but the game goes on. I mean, both these heroes can potentially build Orchid, so you have pick-off potential. I feel like Alacrity's initiations is going to be better just because of that long zip. So we'll see how it goes. It can definitely be snowbally, or it can just almost be even at some stage. But I've kind of been surprised we haven't seen as much Queen of Pain because I think this hero is still relatively strong with those recent changes.
I think she's strong as well. And I mean, one of the other reasons I was really wanting the Shadow Fiend was to counter the IO as well, right? Because unless you're literally frame perfect with your relocate saves, that fear is going to disrupt the tether and the relocates. So it's not going to have that same level of impact this time around, but if Azura's on point, which he has been so far in the games that we've seen for Army Geniuses, still puts them in a pretty decent spot.
How are we feeling about this game one draft here? Probably, you know, you'd say NIGMA Galaxy, at least looking at their roster, you know, a lot of people would probably be favoring them, but do you feel like the Heroes is replicating that?
Let me just have a little bit of think about the lanes in them. Azura should get the better part of the mid lane. Varize, actually, it's a +5 Weaver, huh? We haven't really seen all that much of that, have we?
No, we haven't. If we have seen, it's really been the 4.
So, I mean, the Swarm plus Wraith King, even just one level in it is really strong. So you're going to look to try and put a lot more pressure onto this Doom than we've seen in recent times. So I don't hate that lane either. And then, what was top lane again? Quick look. Snapfire. Sorry, yeah, this one in the Snapfire Tide Hunter. So, I mean, that's pretty strong. Talking about wanting to be able to counter with an Agi hero all this minus armor that they've got. Well, sorry, IO only has 3 of that, so not going to be all that effective at countering it super early on. So I like Army Geniuses draft better, but I like NIGMA Galaxy as a team. So let me have a think about it, and I want to put on like a condition on the game, basically.
I mean, I'm worried how these lanes are gonna go. Mizu's not even starting. I feel like, and we say maybe you actually don't need Ring of Protection anymore in Doom because your starting armor is actually pretty solid, but up against the Wraith King plus Weaver, it's going to be a lot of physical damage. We saw the Doom earlier in the day have a strong lane. I do not think that's going to be the case this game. Maybe, yeah, like you said, mids should be pretty Queen of Pain favored, so that's already 2 lanes that give me the edge to Army Geniuses. And then, I mean,
has to be a little careful here with his positioning. I've actually gone and revealed the fact that they had the mid warded with that right click on Paulson, but the boots of speed plus the on the Tusk plus the IO tethered together allowed him to get the
Mizu
a little bit quicker.
It's gonna make this game even more difficult, and this mid matchup even more rough as well for Alacrity.
More of an unorthodox observer ward being put down there by Varese, obviously understanding how important it is for them to be able to scout out any Storm Spirit stacks that he might be looking to build up for himself, camp in this area, and block up small camps. So really nicely done there by Army Geniuses with their movements in for the Horn.
And we might even see, because we saw the Storm Spirit versus the Viper matchup earlier, where Storm just put a lot more emphasis on farming the jungle. This could be a pretty similar case with the Queen of Pain being quite the lane dominator. Zero is the level 26 on the clock, so definitely has the game time on this hero. See if that's going to transition in as well.
All right, my condition is if Army Geniuses take Roche before 15 minutes, I think they're going to win, because they have the lineup to do it super early on. They have the lineup as well to be able to take mid tower pretty damn early. Let's say 16 minutes actually, just to give them the 17 to give them the 15-minute catapult wave to be able to take that tower and then convert it into Roche. Going to be one of those things that's really handy on Azura. Like, sure, you don't use the Aegis quite as well as the Storm Spirit does, but you also have to commit so much heavier when you do go in because of the longer cooldown on your blink relative to the zip.
What do you feel like is the main importance that Army Geniuses need out of this Aegis? Is it just mainly to death ball and takes him out of towers and then start to get control on the map?
A little bit of death ball, but also just to like take attention away from the Wraith King, whose main job is going to be to nicely done being able to get rid of that observer ward there on Varese. I'll even look to de-ward his own, just to enable them to take some of these objectives. Like, it feels like a bit of a distraction play, considering you don't have much in the form of save prior to Varese making him scepter for himself. You've got the minus armor lineup, right? So it's a good Solar Crest game, but I feel like you can leave the Snapfire do that. So Weaver, it's a great Spirit Vessel game as well, right? You're going up against a Doom who's going to be fairly tanky, but also the Io who's providing all of that healing through as well. Even though you're position 5, I think you can still afford to go that Spirit Vessel and then the Aghanim Scepter.
See how luxurious they can get in the supports in regards to their items. Don't lose the Courier. Someone gonna get this? No. Oh, I mean, they get the Courier. At least Lim gets his items at the moment. This bottom matchup though, In Your Dream and Polisun already looking to get up in the face of Wommy. The tanky Tide doesn't really like playing into the Slark too much. You feel like there's ever a stage where they can kind of actually man fight with Army Geniuses off lane?
Yeah. It's going to be pretty damn difficult. I mean, it's basically going to be based off Paulson making a mistake in my eyes. It's a Slark, right? You're always going to be able to get the better end of any trades. Hasn't put any points into the Dark Pack just yet. But you can just see that In Your Dream's kind of setting up to be able to constantly be contesting and harassing out. He's already got the boots of speed waiting in the stash right now. And yep, they're going for Polo.
That's the much easier target. Just avoid In Your Dream. Yokam actually TP'd down bottom, so Mizu left on an island. Because the daytime, they actually even scouted out Yokam, so see the awareness and if they look to just bully out Mizu top.
Big mistake if they didn't. I mean, Weaver is, in my opinion, the best harassing hero in the entire game right now as a support. That lower mana costs on the Shikuchi, the Swarm as well, for someone that already doesn't have a ton of mana to be able to start with. It's going to make his life very challenging.
And meanwhile, we haven't pay too much attention to the mid lane, but Alacrity 13-1 compared to the 19-8. So Azura's having a really good time, and I wonder if we're gonna have to see a lot more of the rotations come out from Radiant supports to maybe secure the water runes, because it's gonna need the consistent bottle refills as Mizu tops in trouble. Breeze along with the Beetles should be enough to claim the life of the Doom. The boots and the starting armor just not enough.
I wonder if Breeze will even be able to move up towards the top side of the river to try and get that, or rather secure it for Azura. Check if the bounty was claimed. It has. It's looking pretty good. The bounty room was sniped away by Jokam, away from Azura as well on the Queen of Pains. So even though the laning stage is going well for him, could be going even better.
We're definitely going to see the Queen of Pain get a lot more active early. Storm Spirit a while ago, you know, especially heroes like Arbed, we saw you try and get the level 6 through the jungle, go back to base, TP out to a side lane and get a kill with the fresh mana pool and ulti. Don't really see that too often anymore. Bottom lane though, in your dream, another jump on forward. Jokam a little bit late to the party, so they're gonna have to dive deep under the tower. And I mean, the Snapfire, one of the better ways to deal with this shards block.
Nice patience there by Lim, not wanting to throw it out all too early, especially knowing that the Tusk was in the region. Would you have expected, I mean, my prediction was almost the exact opposite, but would you have expected EG to be the team that, on the Battle Pass predictions, was the team that had the lowest amount of different heroes throughout the entire tournament?
No, that's not what I expected at all, honestly. I can't even remember what team I predicted.
Probably XG or something like that. Especially with someone like we're talking about Arbed. The reason I'm talking about that is that, you know, it felt like he was so pigeonholed into one hero, which we know he's so talented across a large variety of them.
Bottom lane, another attempt. Jokam's putting a lot of emphasis on this bot. Are you a fan of them really trying to secure Slark's lane and just leaving Mizu?
I mean, not a massive fan, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, Mizu's one of those offlaners kind of similar to KP that loves to build Midas on a lot of his heroes, so it's pretty standard on the Doom, but he feels like he has some sort of comeback potential. The important thing is that with this rope kind of getting what you were expecting before with a tether on Jokam and Paulison, the position 1 Tusk. A kill attempt here on the mid lane, but Paulson, he's just guarding that illusion rune. The important thing is that where they're positioning themselves in that bottom lane, it wasn't actually soaking away any of the experience from In Your Dream. So he's still level 5. That's one of the downsides of having some of these, I'm doing air quotes here verbally, tri lanes, because, you know, you take away a lot from your carry, which means that it really needs to be an outstanding success.
Yeah, and quite often Slark is one of the carries that's very dependent on the level 6. You always try and just have as minimal amount of resources and regen as possible, because once you hit that 6, then you're a-okay. So you just need to get to that stage. Varese is, I mean, 1 level behind the Doom. Is 2-0-1. It's just done such an exceptional job at zoning him out, and I mean, this has enabled DB to completely free farm, and it looks like he's got the armlet queued up. Intrigued to see how he looks to itemize after that, however.
Could even be the sort of game that, considering they are lacking a little bit of mobility, that they, I guess they can put the faith into the Queen of Pain and the Snapfire to deal with the IO. That's my main concern right now, is that Army Geniuses could look to commit quite heavily with all of their big team fight ultimates and then just get it all turned around on them by a simple relocate. So I think the attention that Lim as well as Azura give over to Paulson is going to be incredibly important.
I think you got to be kicking yourself though if you're NIGMA Galaxy with the fact that they're still yet to find their first kill of the game with the Tusk in their lineup. I think this is one of the best heroes to find kills throughout the early stages. You with that potential just try lane at the start, and then you, as soon as you get a kill, you just instantly leave. But you know, even a bot lane, I mean, a Slark versus the Tide's a very favorable matchup, but haven't been able to find that opening just yet as Radiant. Look at this posture aggressively here. Alacrity's actually going to dive deep. They got the extra snowball control with Zero Blink back up in a couple of seconds. In fact, he's just going to turn it around. The Sonic Wave to rip apart the Okam. So there's a little bit of extra mana to play with here, especially with the help of Polison.
And Army Geniuses are kicking ass right now, especially Lim. I mean, his rotation was on point. Again, making sure he saves that Fire Snap cookie until the very last second, so he made sure he got it over the Ice Shards, saving Azure, who's even able to get the turnaround kill.
Yeah, they are doing an exceptional job through the laning stage. I feel like this is what we were expecting, though. Like we said, top and mid should be very favorable for them. I honestly think Wami's gotten a little bit more out of this. I mean, he's even net worth in Doom, but I guess this is off the back of the Devour. They are baiting In Your Dream at the moment. Can he get the ultimate off before the burst? Too late. Azura, great rotation. Radiant a little bit too late to mirror this with a double support in Yorkem and Polison through the triangle.
Be careful about losing this hard camp stack, though. You can see Alacrity is coming through and have vision of it. They know exactly where all this movement is.
He's got 6. He's going to try and blow up the Tidehunter before he gets the opportunity, but quick fingers on Wami will give them no chance, as now Azura looks to put the 4th in the grave. And like you were saying, Army Geniuses turning up the heat in this game 1, about to be 9-1 kill count.
Great value out of that urn as well. Varese, he's doing a fantastic job, having a ton of farm for this position 5. He's the only one in his team that's died, but it cost the Doom to be able to do it. So, like, you're totally happy with that. And again, DB just continuing to farm on his own. I believe that is almost the armlet finished up, only about 100 gold away.
And you were saying the condition of them taking Roshan at 15, 16, 17 minutes. Well, with how they're looking at the moment, you might hit that initial timer of the 15 minutes. Alacrity?
Hello. Died if they had the Sonic Wave still available. That would have been the condition that Azura needed to be able to pop that Arcane Rune and continue chasing. But again, it's just another little thing going Army Genius's way. Keeping the pressure up, going that super early Orchid. I like it. You want to make sure that you're bursting down the IO as quickly as possible. So again, that's going to be the next key component of their team fight. You can see Lim positioning himself behind Azura and Varese. As soon as he wants to start going in, I think they could kill Polo right now. Just got to be patient.
When do we feel like we're going to see the lanes start to dissolve? Because still, it's Slark versus Tide. DB still top and still now, so I guess there's the question answered. It's going to be about 11 minutes into the game where DB wants to utilize the catapult. Unfortunately, it's already been killed off. Radiant, they're going to mirror the movement. All 5 heroes are starting to come down bot. Wami's just man fighting In Your Dream. He's more than happy for that. First essence shift of the game. Doom out on the Queen of Pain as well. A beautiful shot from Yorkem and a long zip in as well. As Alacrity, they're going to be cautious though. Alacrity has to target the snap from the backline, so we'll be able to cancel the Mortal Kisses. Now it's got IO to combine with as well, but that's not enough. It's a retreat. Polison will still be the sacrifice as simultaneously Varese is going to go deep under the tower for Alacrity, as Zip to try and get him out of the range from the Sakuchi damage. Alacrity will just keep the life for the meanwhile, but maybe with this creep wave they'll look to dive. One more right click after the Sakuchi. Not enough, but then they get the cherry on top. That'll be Mizu.
That was just a little bit of very odd positioning from Wami there. He had the Quell Blade, but he just continued to refuse to use it, so he was stuck in that little nook there and ended up just being solo killed essentially by In Your Dream.
Top lane real quick, we saw Azura actually just try and attempt a solo kill on the Slark. He got the Arcane Rune, so it doesn't feel too bad about dropping that Sonic Wave. Orchid's a guaranteed kill there, but they're actually looking to head up top for the co-op, but she's already at least back to more of a defensive farming position.
Went even further into the minus armor. Desolator, second item queued up here for DB, wanting to make full use out of this lineup. I don't hate it. It's going to allow them to transition through this mid lane pretty shortly. Wouldn't surprise me if they did it.
And laps up. Zuri. It is In Your Dreams taking objectives. One of the flaws that we were speaking about in the draft and what we were hoping for with that last pick was a Tower Sieger, and Slark is atrocious at that. You very much rely on winning a team fight and having a crap load of essence to be able to take these objectives. So, the first one will be claimed for them about 13 minutes of the game, but I don't think the next objectives are going to get any easier.
No, for sure. And you can just see DB's making his slow way towards the mid lane tower. You've got, a Mithril Hammer, yep, coming out on Courier. So there's really nothing stopping them from pushing and continuing to do so. There's still another 10 seconds on the Doom. You've got all of your ultimates at the ready for Army Geniuses, save for the time lapse. Do their best to try and keep them away.
Oh, they got the... Okay, well, we didn't get detection.
Zero was just a little bit out of position there. So close to the Orchid.
Mizu drops the Doom. Snowball's a little bit too late. They need the cookie. Blim's actually going to try and play around with the Mortimer Kisses. The magical damage will rip apart Radiant once again, and now the rest of them can converge on top of the backline. They can't deal with Mizu, so they'll just turn their attention to In Your Dream and Alacrity. Lacking the stuns, as the rest of the team did sidestep down to the southern side to end the kill on Mizu. Now, In Your Dream still stuck around. Shadow Dance, Starter Pack at the ready.
Mana there, Alacrity. If they have a sentry ward up there for the tower push, you might have been dead.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Now with In Your Dream. Yeah. Oh, he'll do it, all right. At least you can still get the ultimate off through the pounce. Sakuchi on cooldown. Woo!
Easy clap. Never in doubt.
Ograk saving lives.
Well, pretty happy with that for Army Geniuses. I mean, they used the first use of the reincarnation while it was still level 1, which is a little unfortunate. DB actually just walked into a static remnant by accident, actually, to pop it while he was trying to chase down Storm and or Slark. But, I mean, that's another tower gone. You probably just need to wait for your next ultimates. You've got that 15-minute mark for an extra bounty. The DB is about 700 gold away from finishing up that entire Desolator. And yeah, by that point, you just want to take a team fight around this Roche pit and continue to push on forward with that advantage, especially now that you've got the Orchid available on Azura. They get rid of some of the Radiant Vision inside their own jungle.
Mizu's in trouble. Maybe he can play around with the Jukes. Ring around the Rosie. Mizu. It's his movement speed, but the Scorched Earth really just being the telltale of where he's hiding in the tree line. So unfortunate for the Doom, it's really just space created at this stage. That's a huge crit. My God, it's not going to get pretty. Who do they one hit this game? Fire.
Sure.
Do you reckon Tusk? I mean, what's the armor? Sitting at 9 at the moment. Room handle's handy.
Handy. I feel like once he builds into a Solar Crest, it'll be a lot harder, obviously, but he's gone for the save, so I don't think he's going to be in a position to get one hit. It's much more the IO, of course, that's going to be the main concern there. Although Doom, he kind of wants to be on the front lines as well to be able to catch out either the Tide Hunter or the Quap, so I feel like he's going to be the main target for the majority of these early engagements, and he's only got 6 armor.
Yeah, one thing to mention In Your Dream is he's not running around with sentries at the moment, so something I always offend on if Slark is holding sentries, whether he's buying it. I mean, you're more than likely going to get the percentage of you getting a D ward. The probability is like 90%. I mean, it's so easy just to scout out, to just slowly poke at Azura. But this is huge, this diffuser blade timing. I mean, it's going to be great versus the Wraith King, great versus the Tide Hunter. 2 strength heroes that really utilize mana. So we'll see how much impact he can get out of this one.
All right, so we're reaching 17 minutes. Haven't counted Army Geniuses out yet. I think they're just wanting to wait for that 20 more seconds on the Wraith King's reincarnation timer. You've got this gigantic wave of Skelly Boys going down the lane. I think DB might just want to stick around here for the next little bit, push in the next wave, and then leave them to do the majority of the work. Skellies will soak up the majority of those tower hits as well.
How are you feeling though in regards to the fact that NIGMA Galaxy have done a very good job to at least somehow have the net worth lead when they're so many kills behind? We'll hold that thought. Oh, yes sir, he is. TP rotations way too late. But maybe they've at least compromised their position with how deep they've gone. In Your Dream, Ravage. But might drop the Sonic Wave and the Mortimer Kisses, all the AoE damage. Enough to secure the kill. Yes, it's 3 ultimates, but a big kill on the Slark, which should secure the tier 2 tower now.
Especially after revealing that diffuser blade timing. Now they know that they always need to be holding.
Breeze, just in the nick of time, that time lapse.
So remember when I said I hated Weaver as a support? This is why. You know,
just
you
wait till
commit that heavily onto him. Oh, ugh. wait. But yeah, like, they revealed that, so now you can always be carrying some sort of mana regen. You're already holding the king, just kind of respecting the fact that that was a possibility that Slark could finish it up at this stage of the game. Of course, also the magic wand, providing enough mana to be able to reincarnate every single time. So, yeah. Tier 2 tower accomplished. Again, they used a lot of their ultimates. That's the only thing really holding them back from wanting to go into Roche. So maybe it's going to be around the 20-minute mark that they're going to look to contest. But I think they've accomplished enough on the map that they've still got a really good shot in this game.
Well, like, why is there a hero capable of farming the mid lane with where it is right now? Like, what is... Oh.
As a support.
Oh. Like, you always speak about...
500 gold away from Ags, by the way.
It's a crazy timing. I mean, the supports from Dire have had an exceptional game. Everyone has, but I want to highlight the supports. Lim 6-1 and 8. Weaver's 4-1 and 6. Radiant 5-man smoke, though. Transitioning into the top jungle. In your GM with this nighttime vision, I believe Weaver just clipped him, so they're well aware of the position. Once again, Breeze, to get the information required, is going to have to use it very early. Time is for the backline. Slark just evaporates. The minus armor too strong for him to deal with. A couple of right clicks will soon drop Polis on as well. Surely that's Roshan. Maybe...
Don't think you need ultimates anymore. I think you can very easily Roche with this.
You don't have Weaver, yeah, so I mean, not having the bugs, which is maxed out, maybe they'll think twice. Do they even care? I mean, you got Little Shredder Max, Medallion, Deso, Gush, that's level 2. Yeah, they don't care. In they go.
They're just wanting to keep these waves pushed in. So we're actually with the Orchid going to look to take out the Tusk here. Saw Fariz previously dropped the sorry after he ended up going down, but I'm pretty sure they didn't have mind that because it kept 4 heroes away while they were able to take out Slark.
This is just
damage as well.
It's all army geniuses right now. You're about 3 minutes shy of the Aegis claim, but I feel like it's really... it's not different. I mean, you have such a huge net worth lead, and I think the importance of the Orchid Clop is to snowball, and he's doing just that. 6-1 and 8, almost at the next set of items, and these BKBs soon to come out is just gonna further increase their teamfight prowess.
Kind of like what we were expecting as well, giving over the Aegis to the Queen of Pain. She's very close to finishing up the BKB as well, so you're able to commit a lot deeper without fear of just instantly being turned around upon and wasting your life.
It's just such cool itemization from Dire. Like, of course, it's stock standard items from Breeze, but you know, Lim's gone Medallion into the 4-star. The great way to really kite 3 heroes: Doom ulti, Shards, and Pounce. And not only that, Wami, he's gone for Halberd, which is, I think, one of the best ways to deal with Slark, and a very undervalued way to also minimize the damage from the Storm Spirit. But Radiant, they might look to jump as soon as they make it up to the high ground. Mizu's just hiding in the wings at the moment, trying to find a perfect opening. Slark, that's an early use of the Shadow Dance as well, so once he pops out, it's going to have to rely on Polissa to provide the heal, and it's enough. And relocate back to safety. Now they've given them an opportunity to push forward for more on top of the backline, but it's got to be cautious, Mizu. A jump in, a wall stomp on the multiple heroes, but a complete waste of the Doom as Army Geniuses don't even lose the Aegis.
Yeah, they were a little panicky there because I believe that actually sucking the Slark into the snowball. It wasn't the relocate that ended up pulling him back.
The red mist spreads.
The thing is, they don't even need to back entirely. They could just still use the remaining 3 minutes on this Aegis to take the remaining outer tower. They go for another with the haste. Orchid available, so you can't tether to your teammates.
Blackman's actually going to look to jump. Lim needs to get in range. Will reposition his Queen of Pain. All outer towers now claimed. 22 minutes in, and Army Geniuses, who would have expected this? And at the moment here for the Indonesian fans.
All right, so let's for NIGMA to back into this game. You've got the mechanism on the IO. You know, there have been way too many times where he's just getting chain stunned on the front lines, and unfortunately for him, he's just not in a position to be able to pop that Shadow Dance. I love the fact that Wami is not scared about using the he's inside his Shadow Dance Dark Cloud, so that You're able to get the chain down afterwards. He's in position just to be able to cop the Sonic Wave as well as the Mortimer's Kisses.
He has to switch up that item progression as well in the Slark. He had the Suns queued up for a little bit, but it's just way too much AoE damage. We were kind of theory-crafting of like what hero they'd go for. The Lesh was already banned out, one of the biggest counters to the Slark, but it just seems like at least you've got some AoE stuns and then to fly his Mortimer Kisses, and that seems to be plentiful.
Gonna push down on this bottom side of the map. Still a minute and a half left on the Aegis. Ravage up in 10 seconds. DB still only 2 points into the reincarnation, but he should be just fine. It's a very early fortify as well, so it's not even going to take out this second creep wave.
This is still without the blink as well, so he's just going to have to brute force himself into the fight. So how he can find the opener.
Big for Alacrity. I mean, they're having to give this up just because he's so close to picking up the BKB for himself. Now he'll look to TP back and join the rest of his team, but it's like the job's kind of done.
It was also Slark enough gold for him to find the BKB, so ready. They might smoke. Honestly, top and mid are in a very good position for them to make a play. It's dire. They're going for the double back. Smoke on smoke.
He's finding who?
He's
just seeing if they're around, and they're not. And he's like, well, where could they possibly be? Lots of pings going around on the map.
I would not hate to see them jump instantly with this ward. The only issue is that NIGMA Galaxy, of course, with the smoke. Mizu's going to reveal himself now. Just ticked out. Oh, 20 seconds.
I'm keeping my eye on it.
I couldn't see it because Azura was smoked. They don't have that double particle effect for us.
If they were very observant, though, they would have seen the BKBs. Like, every single core that has it right now in NIGMA Galaxy. That is the potential for them to come back into this game, not having to worry about the Ravage. And they've got the timing down to the T. Aegis expires. They're looking to make a play around this mid lane.
Another smoke. NIGMA Galaxy, gotta get something out of this. In your dream. Leading the charge up the high ground, but run into DB. He's got that third point in. The ultimate won me. The counter initiation perfect, but an even better snowball will give the Slark an opportunity to get the ultimate off your DB. Oh, Azura. Sonic Wave. Bye-bye, Slark. Polisson will attempt the TPR, but oh my god. Army Geniuses came to play today.
Azura so patient there, just wanting to make sure that all of those abilities were used. The BKBs were running a little bit low. Actually, Duke didn't even end up popping his, didn't even begin to join that team fight as well. Feels like a little bit of a desperation play coming out there. Actually, all BKBs still online, so this push, it's not going to be halted by anything all that much. I wonder if they might even look to, converge down onto that bottom side with the creep wave pushing in, removing the backdoor protection. At least the range racks. Looks like the melee as well. They need to get out immediately after this, though. They can't afford to stick around with no BKBs being popped.
TB. There we go. Cool item. Aghanims on Weaver. Very fun to play into. Pounces out in your dream. A very early usage of the BKB. Army Geniuses have to retreat away. They don't have the ultimate to take this team fight. They'll finally deal with the reincarnation. But Woman's going to blink on forward. They've got to deal with the backline. They're going to do just that. Polisson's the target, but it's not going to matter. This is the fight that NIGMA Galaxy are looking for. They'll deal with the Raid King still. Azura is such a thorn in their side, blinking left, right, and center. But now Slark has been able to stack up the essence. He can burn the mana along with the health, but they're not done just yet. Alacrity looking for the stragglers, but he won't find anyone.
They just stayed for that 1 second too late. And that's the difference between going for the melee racks, which is going to regenerate, and the range racks that isn't. I feel like you needed to prioritize the melee because it's such bigger value, and it allowed the Slark to respawn and join in that fight.
Hey, have you seen task itemization?
I haven't, but I'm not going to look. She's not going Ags, is he?
Yeah, of course he is. I mean, whenever you ask what the task is going for, it's just... I mean, this is...
why not just get the long boy, though?
Okay, I do not hate it because you're playing off the back of pushing a hero further away from Weaver.
Yes.
So,
or pushing Weaver away. Like, he's got the blink,
yeah.
right?
on Tusk? Yeah, he does, yeah.
Yeah.
So now it kind of forces Weaver to probably go blink next item after Force. You know, we have seen a lot of 8th lens be a consideration, but as soon as you see the point booster on Tusk, you should have the recognition that he's going Ag. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if that thought process is there for Ease.
The Tusk Skadi.
Bro, that would be great. My dudes, what do you mean? You don't like the Octarine or Bloodstone Tusk?
Octarine at least kind of makes sense with the cast range.
Philosopher's Stone's gonna get him to that stage just a little bit faster, but what do we got? Slark is 5 Essence at the moment. Skadi being built, gonna take quite some time considering. I mean,
Pretty quick road trip on as well, actually.
Yeah, the lanes are all in a great position for Dire to swing on over. Another
Zero, he's not going to stick around long enough to see Vizu's still camping out down here. Reese is actually just going to walk into the pit just as it respawns as well.
Reading. No vision around the area. I mean, this Roche is going to get ripped apart. All their minus armor. At a stage only had 5 armor on Roshan. My lord, Aghanim Shard now available. Is Azura gonna take that? No, DB. Okay, yeah, you're going into Diffusal, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like they're all pretty gonna be on top of their face as well, so even just the skeletons coming through from the Reincarnate is quite nice. He's even talented into the skeleton attack damage.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, cleave now if he wants as well. Isn't that fun?
What, does he need even more farming speed on DB? My dude's chilling right now. He has gone into it. Oh, and a Paladin Sword. Now, what do you...
Doesn't need it. But now it gives him a way to actually deal damage to the Slark inside the Shadow Dance.
That's
if
true.
Someone's standing nearby.
That's true, yeah. I've just... His farm's just going to continue to accelerate. I don't know how Slark keeps up. He didn't go for the Dark Pack talent, so... Something we see quite often on Slarks, but not the case this game, as High Ground once again under siege, and a big advantage at the moment with the second Roche claimed.
Wami needs to be standing this far forward though. The DB backs off. That's your indication to do it as well. Wanting to rejoin with the creep waves? Nah, they're all kind of pushed in anyway. Just feels like it's still a really good spot for Army Geniuses. They've got 3.5 minutes to play around with. They bought the tome on everyone as well. It's like NIGMA Galaxy still have a tome available for themselves, and that could be a pretty significant difference maker. I mean, imagine if Alacri's level 20, that extra 0.4 seconds on Electric Vortex might be enough to take out the Weaver, for example, before he's able to get off a time lapse.
Smoke up, NIGMA Galaxy. Looking for the opener here. Can't go on the Queen of Pain. Hero with Lincoln's BKB, Aegis as well.
Snap.
Not the target.
Snap.
Maybe Snap's the way to go. I gotta know. I mean, Slark's just he doesn't have a Shadow Blade, so as he just Dark Packing out of vision. Just a suffocation. It feels like it might just be with this Aegis at the moment here for Army Geniuses.
They're going into the AC on the Wraith King. I don't hate it. I feel like I would like Blink Dagger more though, just so that he's able to consistently be part of the nitty gritty in these team fights, just super on the deep side. Fractal's going to start to kick in. They'll at least get the tier 3 tower in the meantime.
And it goes. Free reset. I mean, still got 2 minutes on this Aegis, so plenty of time to be able to utilize here.
I haven't tested it. Do you know how the interaction works with the Queen of Pain if she's got a Lincoln's and her spell block talent?
Like what gets popped first?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I really don't know.
My supportness is showing.
Well, my co-caster, my analyst, my brains is really not giving me some assistance right now.
I'm using the it's 2 a.m. excuse.
Fair enough. I'm also going to use that 2 a.m. excuse.
All tier 3's gone. All racks exposed. ironically enough, there's no nature's prophet. Hit your tree.
Radiant's top barracks.
How do you start a fight? I do just has to go. You need a target, but they are not presenting an opportunity for Doom to get the jump. And you're so far away from the Aghanims on Alacrity too. This is your last full set of barracks. You're going to have to make the play. Go kept it start. The counterplay with the Ravage, all the AoE damage is just way too much for NIGMA Galaxy to deal with. Army Geniuses out executing this game. What? They're going to put all the breeding in the grave. Another jump in from afar. Gotta be cautious how deep you dive under the T4 tower, but DP with these armlet toggles, not even giving them an opportunity to deal with the reincarnation. Azura out of the jump in, just pushing them further and further back. This base is now ours, they say, as the Tier 4 tower is soon to fall. With only 3 heroes, no buyback on the rest of the side of NIGMA Galaxy. This is going to be quite the victory from Army Geniuses. Like we were saying, they turned up the heat in this game 1.
Still fighting it out until the bitter end, but unfortunately for Ian Dream, I think he just wants a kill. You know, he wants to be able to get something out of this game as a Slark when you've got the Tusk paired together with you. Don't do it. Dive it. Azura, no.
Come on. Oh, he doesn't have reincarnation. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, I understand. Man, Army Geniuses. What a goddamn performance. 34 minutes. Wommy, you have every reason to put some capitalization on those GGs.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Let's get crushing.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under
Decent there. Monster kill.
Will not stop us. Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Rock on!
Five went into battle. Five graves.
A gift from the gods. Dire's middle tower Radiant structures are fortified.
Monster kill!
There were none.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Monster kill! Triple kill!
Dire are scanning. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Purge the other. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Last game. Denog's camera's MIA as well. It's just 2 AM things.
It's on, isn't it?
Huh?
It's on my end on Grid Fan.
Oh my. Maybe it's my end things. We're chilling. It's been a good story of today with the issues popping up. Restart your Grid Fan real quick.
I'll restart.
Yeah, it's always your fault. I blame you. Army Geniuses, man. What a game 1 performance against NIGMA Galaxy. Honestly, was not expecting them to really outclass the roster of NGX, but the fact that they came in all guns blazing, and that was quite a solid.
I was here. I was waiting for you. Yeah, turn it off again.
5 seconds remaining.
Opportunities to counter these days, and there's not that one standout hero that you absolutely need to have, whether it, you know, the Tiny or the Magnus or the IO these days. As we've seen, every one of them, it feels like it can be defeated. It's really only like one near guaranteed win in pubs these days, and that's Marcy, and thankfully we cannot pick her.
Thank God that hero looks. I literally, I had 30 seconds of reading the patch notes, saw Marcy, saw the hero, saw the abilities, and I said this hero is the most broken on release. On God, you cannot change my mind. 30 seconds, I am convinced, and yeah, there's very good reason. Good thing she's not in captain's mode. That's going to take quite some time, quite some balancing, and that hero needs a little bit of balancing as well. Varese had a really, really good performance in game 1.
And that's the thing, it doesn't even need to be Varese. I think a position 3 Weaver still works in my eyes. The only place that you really can't play it is mid, just because, you know, it feels like you've only got like that one way to get in or out. You know, there's no way to fully commit, basically, which, you know, you need some kind of level of tankiness on one of these mid laners. So probably the only exception to that would be the Lina. Galaxy, they're looking to try and play the reverse card. They'll take the Snapfire away, especially paired together with a puck. Allows for a lot of guaranteed damage to come out in these team fights.
Yeah, I'd really like to see, well, I mean, if you didn't have Weaver, I'd be down for a Nyx Assassin here, but I don't think that's going to be an opportunity for Army Geniuses. I just want a hero with a stun to really disable potentially the puck game, and they go straight for it.
I think that's totally fine, right? Like, it kind of falls into the same issue as the Nyx Assassin, but at least you've got some more of that burst potential that isn't reliant on being up in melee range, right? As soon as you get that blink dagger, the Finger of Death just becomes so much more potent. So we'll see what they look to pair with it. Again, you need something that's going to enable this Lion to start to rotate, because it's another one of those spells that it feels like you need to be every single chance that you've got when it's off cooldown.
Yeah, and it's also something that we've seen Southeast Asia really don't mind pushing to a 5 if they want to keep that flexibility between the two supports. I'd honestly kind of rather it be a 4 though, just because I think you're going to do a lot more with farm priority with the blink that is dependent on the other 3 heroes though from Army Geniuses if they don't have heroes to kind of initiate and get on the puck. I want to ask real quick, why do you feel like they didn't just answer with like a DK, for example, just go instantly with the lane counter versus the puck? Because we saw early today, when the Lina was picked up, the team was just like, all right, you know, let's go DK. Just gonna have a pretty solo time.
I mean, I think they're not so worried about the lane counter. They can just go for the game counter instead, right? Where you're going to be effective, but also just not only answer one hero, but answer many different stages of the game, right? Like the multi-man hero stuns is going to be
Radiant team pick.
It's a pretty good draft so far from Army Geniuses. I'm liking this. And you mentioned the flexibility of the line between 4 and 5. Weaver does the same sort of thing. So it's just going to depend on what slips through to the second phases of the draft. So I wonder what we can take out of the fact that they've gotten rid of the Doom and the Brewmaster in particular here.
Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit
Big
more.
TA maybe?
Yeah, I really wouldn't hate that at all. Could be the. I mean, you're gonna have to do it now, 16th or 17th. Bane doesn't really deter you from going for a Templar Assassin.
Not really. If you can afford something that's able to... That's not really a liking game. To have multiple units that can just get rid of the Nightmare themselves, like a Beastmaster, to just be able to rally behind isn't horrible. Again, if you get that initial stun off with the Lion or the Beastmaster, for that matter, then you're going to be pretty effective at then just pushing down towers. Wouldn't mind to see that one come out here.
At least for NIGMA Galaxy, we saw they had some issues in game 1 with how their lanes could be set up and just winning a lot of the lanes. Now having a Bane support, even Snapfire support as well, are definitely two of the stronger laning stage supports at the moment. It still feels like even Bane with those nerfs is one of the high contestion heroes through the Pro Series.
I think so, and I think they just need to pick a hero that's going to work well together with it. I would say, like, what's stopping them from going for a Bloodseeker, right? Like, a Weaver can't be as mobile and hard to catch if that's the case. Kind of similar to the Snapfire. You've also got great setup for the Bloodrite if you're able to land a good Dream Coil, and then even just for the lane, right? Nightmare into Bloodrite, very effective at being able to win that lane.
I think they could definitely be setting up for a Bloodseeker here, because we saw last Pro Series the Bane Bloodseeker was a great combination. Maybe if another core gets revealed that's a little bit countered by Rupture, you could definitely consider it for NIGMA Galaxy. It just depends on what priority they want to put. If they leave Mizu's hero till last, which I think you're more than likely going to go for your 1 just to keep somewhat of a flex from the puck to the 2 and the 3.
Yeah, I think so as well. You probably want the Dragon Knight to be in the mid lane, but it's honestly not bad to be a bit more of that beefy frontline presence, whether it be a Lion or a Weaver that you're paired together with. So yeah, still have that layer of flexibility.
You've got now another way to be able to start these fights for Army Geniuses, someone to play the front line and take the objectives, which of course with the 2 initial heroes that were currently lacking, and they're going to have to show another core.
Don't think you can show your position 1 right now. Like, that just gives them 2 opportunities to counter you with whatever hero that they want to run. So I feel like it needs to be mid, off lane, so the bamboozlement of this Dragon Knight isn't going to be super effective.
I'd really like a hard dispel. Like, we haven't seen a lot of Legion so far. It was a pretty solid pick at TI. We're back into the Furion today. It's been a little bit less of action we've seen so far. You know, day 1 for us. Oh, that's so confusing for people. But anyway, a couple of days ago, we saw the Furion a lot.
Day 5.
Day 5, there we go. Day 5, we saw the Furion a lot. Day 6, it started not as hotly picked up. Still was here and there. And now day 7, seen it once.
I mean, it's not terrible, right? You know you're going to have at least a roaming duo now of the Lion and Dragon Knight. Monkey King has slipped all the way through this stage of the draft, so probably something that they're going to be running here with In Your Dream paired together with a Bane. Again, it's not a terrible setup. You can get the Nightmare, a few right clicks off, set up for the Primal Spring into a Boundless Strike, so there's some high kill potential in that lane, particularly if this is going to be a Nature's Prophet 1 though, where we've seen the most success on the hero.
This is really awkward, I think, for AG. If you try and flex the Fury onto the 3, I think you need a 4 that's able to brawl Tusk, but I know you're not too much a fan of a Tusk right now, but someone like that hero to enable Nature's Prophet's laning stage. If you put the Furon as a 1, or even Weaver as a 1, I think the Coil plus Fiend's Grip in Wukong's is too much to deal with, so now I'm thinking of someone who could almost kind of stand their ground and not care as much, but it's so difficult now because it feels
I still want the Beastmaster. I still want it. Like,
I
It
like
gives
that
them
a
so
lot.
much push.
I
It gives
like
them
that a
push.
lot.
Seconds
It gives something for the Lion and the Dragon Knight to be able to rotate to. It disrupts this Bane Monkey King combination in lane where you can just use one of the boars to soak up the Nightmare and get out of range before you're able to take too much damage, and it gives you extra lockdown for the puck.
Radiant.
I'd be a big fan of it.
I think it's also one of the better melee laners versus the Monkey King. With the tree cut and also just the boar attack slow and movement speed slow is very difficult for the Monkey to actually play into once you hit level 3.
Also, just the Hawk, right? To be able to scout out
Yep.
the Monkey King, you've already got a Nature's Prophet that can just use the Nature's Call if he's clever enough. If he doesn't immediately reveal
Tens.
King is, some of the time he can just break him out.
Yeah, 100% down here for
5 seconds.
the Beastmaster be picked up from one, but again, they've got a lot of flexibility with how they want to play at least the roles. They're gonna go for the Pugna. This is someone
Okay.
that you said we might see a little
I
bit
was
more
think-
often.
I was thinking it, like when we saw it as it's still being there, I need something to push, right? Something that forces people to rotate so that the Lion and the Dragon Knight could pick off someone. The only downside to this is, like, you want to pick a Pugna when they're heavily based around physical damage. And right now it's really only the Monkey King. That's why I wasn't thinking of it quite as much, right? Because I mean, what do you really do in this? I suppose he can be a bit more of that like field medic style where he sits a bit more on the back lines, moves forward if he needs to land the Nether Blast. Now that especially that you've got the extra 100 cast range when compared to a couple of patches ago. But yeah, just keep the Dragon Knight healthy. Let him be the one doing sieging.
We're looking for a position 3 here for Mizu. Anything standing out with the holes they need to fulfill?
They are lacking in stuns a little bit. That's the one downside for them. But a lot of these big heroes have been taken out of the equation. No Brewmaster. Decent Darkseer game. Bad.
I without a melee 4, I think you have to have a melee 4 with Darkseer. I want to hear that's
True.
not cooldown dependent as well, because otherwise Army Geniuses just take objectives way too easily.
I mean, you talked about the Legion Commander, but I'm not feeling it, especially now that you've got the Decrepify to be able to counter out any kind of initiations.
I was honestly more for Army Geniuses going for it, because I think Coil Break and Fiend's Group would have been nice, but
Both of them are fine though, right? Like Lion, Dragon Knight, that's a very strong stun combination. So if you're able to get rid of that, it's nice. It's just like, how are you going to be able to deal with a Pugna is the question.
they do. Nice call. Okay, so
Hero.
At least
Doesn't-
it's not a Darkseer into an Enchantress,
That's
right?
true.
Like that's the nice little thing there.
they. I mean, you have a ranged hero, so it's relatively okay versus the Darkseer. Melee can be a little bit awkward with just the Iron Shell tick damage. They don't have a Purge still, so you can play with Surge, you can play with Iron Shell. It is going to be a Snap 5-4 as well. It's how does Darkseer itemize? Because I think he's really off the back of the early game aura providing style this game.
You reckon this isn't just like a beef up in your dream, like SMG mid one style Monkey
I-
King game?
Don't think he can go Ags. Are you saying Ags? With that?
Yeah.
I don't. I think Ags is way too slow. Well, that's probably like a. If he has a
I
good
mean,
lane-
how are you pushing towers, right? Like that is the main issue. Bane doesn't do it. Puck doesn't really do it. Mizu doesn't do it. So it needs to be in your dream, and you need to enable him to do it, because on his own, a Monkey King isn't going to build any like tower-taking items. You're going like an Echo Saber, BKB, these sort of style of items. So I feel like you need that little bit of.
It's a hero that Mizu is incredibly comfortable on, I'd say. I mean, he came up with his transition from a core to a offlane. Well, sorry, I should say from position 1 to an offlane. And Darkseer was one of his most successful heroes at that stage. So, yeah, Mizu knows the hero through and through. Also, another person that knows some heroes is Wami on the Pugna, level 26. Even DB is level 24 on the Nature's Prophet. So, very comfortable.
Yeah, Pugna.
the wood.
Again, I'm just not sure how effective it's going to be when it's really, at least in terms of the Decrepify, only going to counter the Monkey King. I suppose the other side of that is, you know, you can just use it offensively as opposed to defensively, and then suddenly Monkey King can't fight without his BKB.
30 seconds to battle.
Now you have to consider potentially your second item BKB here for In Your Dream, if that's the case. So could give them a bit of a window with how they can play the game. Are we on the back of that? Army Geniuses are on a little bit of a timer here.
I think so, but at least they've got good tower taking, right? Like Dragon Knight, Pugna, Nature's Prophet, they're all good at taking towers. So when you think about it, though, eventually you're going to get to that stage where the Dragon Knight is super beefy. We saw Krish get there, but he was kind of the only one that could take towers at that point. It's not the case for Army Geniuses. You know, you've got these people that when they get at least a little bit of beef behind them, they can assist with taking it, and you're not going to have... I think you will still actually have a bit of an issue going high ground, but it's not going to be quite as bad just because you've got more of that poke damage.
Well, a matchup we haven't seen for quite some time, but the DK versus Puck. Do you want to remind everyone of why it's so favorable for the Dragon Knight?
You know, high armor, you look to regen a whole lot. The harass that comes from a ranged hero is always going to be quite nice. And then when you get to the later stages of the game, Puck, one of those heroes that if you've got fast fingers, you're going to be able to get away from a lot of gank attempts. But of course, Dragon Tail instant if it's in melee form. Once it gets that blink dagger, you're going to be using the range form right on top of the mini.
And my eyes are going to be on how we see those rotations as well come through from Army Geniuses. I think that's a big factor with how you can utilize the DK early. Hopefully he can hit the Elder Dragon form timing with the catapult, which will be about first catapult timing 5 minutes, and by the time he gets level 6 it should be about 5:30. So my eyes are going to be on if Furion even wants to TP over, and how the Weaver and Lion are looking to get involved as well. Because if you can bring down this tier 1 tower super early in the game, then it's going to enable them much more to get active across the map.
Taking a decent amount of harass in this mid lane, though. Looks like this game he might not even be going for the bottle style of build, just trying to keep himself regened up through the use of the bracer. Careful, though.
He took a lot of unnecessary tower hits, so he actually just can't see under his own tower. That's 3 miss there to the back of the play. Take a look at top lane. How do we feel like this is going to fare with the Darkseer though, and the Snapfire? Is this a lane they can really pressure Mizu?
Not really, but I think you can heavily limit the farm that he's able to get just because you've got good damage. You're going to be able to quickly take care of those iron shells on the creeps. You know, it's not like a hero. Like you mentioned, you really wanted to see that melee position 4 that you're able to pair together with this. But if you don't have that, the iron shell needs to go on the creeps, and then it's much easier for Army Geniuses heroes with relatively high damage to take them out. Not farming. He's also really active at level 1. Jokem revealed that he just had the point in the scatter blast, so he knows how deep he can go without being punished, because it's not like he's going to get stunned up at the end of his Shikuchi.
And you had some questions previously on how the Pugna's going to be able to at least have a performance this game. His lane looking okay, 9-2 compared to the 13-3, so nothing too crazy at the moment with the double range. Do you feel like there's going to be an opportunity for NIGMA Galaxy to get kills down bot?
I mean, Pugna's one of those heroes that, yeah, he's very fast. You can see he's already got the boost speed. Obviously going to be very important to get away from this harass that's coming out from In Your Dream. He's got the Orb of Venom, and you've got the setup, like I mentioned before, with the Nightmare. But the thing is, if you're speedy enough to be able to get away and have a hover over that Nether Blast as well as... What was that? Kill attempt? No. Hover over the Nether Blast on Wami. It just shows how between 7.3D and now, he's actually got 100 more range on that. So you're so much more capable of farming safely.
It's... The Pugna, I mean, he's got some incredible intel game, but early on, you kind of lack the right-click damage, but the nice thing is that you can just kind of spam the Nether Blast to secure CS, and now, like you were saying, it's just going to be that much more easier with the increased cast range with the Nether Blast. And I feel like this is a hero that's going to slowly start to be on the rise as well, so I'm excited to see how teams can really utilize the Pugna.
Naturally builds into the Aether Lens as well, so going to be able to siege so much easier than previous times. Bit more low-key though. 4 minutes in, no kills picked up just yet. Kind of what we were expecting. Neither lane really strong in terms of kill potential. I would say probably on the bottom side is the highest threat for that, given the damage that the burst damage, excuse me, that's able to get pumped out if you've got the Earth Spike, Decrep, Nether Blast combination.
Yeah, I really want to keep tabs on how Army Geniuses play with Azura. I mean, he's about 5 1/3 at the moment. You know, we're about to hit the catapult timing. So it's now really comes off to the back of how they've set up their side lanes the past minute or so with the creep equilibrium. Like DB, it's going to be about even now that they've reset under the wave. Bottom is kind of shoved in for Pugna, so he might be a little bit vulnerable if the lion leaves this lane. Alacrity's actually going back to base. Oh my lord.
Yeah. Power of the Dragon Knight, you can just stand your ground with those points in the Dragon Blood, you know, and use your strong right-click damage to be able to take out a lot of these. That's why he didn't go for the bottle this time around. He just wants to make sure that he's got the strength regen to be able to just continuously stand there and right-click out the puck.
I really don't hate that TP though. Like he recognized I've got to do it now. If I don't, then I'm gonna be under threat of the siege. And even DB, that's what I want to see. Is bringing up earlier. Bring all the goons. Such an important tower. Put the pressure on early. Almost being able to kill off the puck, and they will. Beautiful chain lockdown. Army Geniuses. This is the signs of life you want to see in the second game.
And the fact that they're able to do this without Pugna being punished at all when the Bane didn't make the rotation is a huge win for them. You know, on his own, he is very vulnerable to being taken out, but the fact that both supports from the side lanes were able to rotate through alongside DB, big win for Army Geniuses.
Wow, that is a full tower claimed. And
6 minutes.
I mean, meanwhile, Pugna's just got a double creep wave under his tower. So, yeah, he, like you said, hasn't been pressured out. It has to be said that Mizu is doing a lot of damage onto the top tower with that catapult wave. And he's also top of the last hit. So, Mizu at least is getting a lot out of the laning stage for NIGMA Galaxy.
He's having to get a lot of it from, like, neutral camps, though. Have a look at the actual net worth. He's sitting at 5th. So, he might be at the top of the actual last hits, but Dragon Knight is in a very big lead here.
DB's already, I should say, starting to
I mean, he's in a little bit of trouble now.
He's got some assistance. Lim and DB's actually nearby. Seeing your dream flying through the trees, but out he goes. Now, does the Monkey King actually want to stay in this lane?
Not a kill threat for Azura. He can just look to continuously farm down, push this into the tower, and then I think he might even just walk down to this bottom side, making sure he keeps that TP available in case they go for a super deep dive on this top side of the map.
Park's even going to try and come down to defend. Level 6 available. Polison to start. The target's going to be DB, about half his health instantly taken care of, but even with the decrep, it's going to give him enough time to waste the coil duration. But they haven't been able to lock down Alacrity just yet until the last second. Azura trying to find the opening, and actually to the life chain, no way that's enough to keep DB alive. It's not, but at least it gives time for Azura to swing on over. And it looks like it's going to be a 3-for-1. Polison chased down to the ends of the earth. He's got the boots. They just need to try and pop the Nightmare, which they'll do at a perfect timing after the Earth Spike. Army Geniuses back towards the bottom side so they can get this tower.
Pugna was just laying down those nether blasts all throughout. He tried to do his best to save DB there just with the second of the life drain. Unfortunately for him, doesn't quite have the... Actually, he's not even going into the 8th lane. He's going to mech here on Wombi. Again, it is that field medic style that I was kind of thinking about.
That's really, really cool. Yeah, he's just going to... This death ball, that's going to come very shortly. And guess who? Your most... loved, hated support Weaver, just free farming up top.
I love seeing teams that shake that up a little bit. You know, they're like, you know what, you're the POS 5, but we're going to give you a game. Like, just sit back, get that little bit of farm. You've done your job in securing the good early start to the game for DB. We've taken 2 towers 8 minutes in. You've earned a little reward for yourself.
They can do this, though, with the fact that these early rotations to take mid and bottom, it just heavily enables how aggressive you can farm across the map. And this is something we've seen quite often from Nature's Prophets lineups that I've been really impressed with, that they utilize this early +1. You know, they get either mid or bottom tower super early, and then you can farm wherever you want and always have this +1 factor. And now it just opens up the map for like a greedy support like the Weaver.
And I mean, 10 seconds from now, you've got the Blink Dagger as well. He's going to catch out Jokan
Jesus,
here.
that's 9 minutes in. My God, I mean, it is a brown boots Dragon Eye, but he's got Soul Ring Bracer as well. Top of the net worth is Azura, 4 kills. You know, simultaneously, that is a big kill to find. It's going to be Mizu dropping the wall with the help of Polison to claim the kill, but they're about to lose all their T1 towers.
Yeah, that's a lot of map control lost. And realistically, you know, when you're thinking about Azura, brown boots into the Blink Dagger, I mean, do you really need much more than that when just purely with your Elder Dragon form, you've done what you've wanted to do? You know, this was the main objective. Take a lot of early towers, suffocate the map for the Monkey King so that he can't play quite as freely as he would like to.
Alacrity, as the initial jump, follow up afterwards once again, the perfect flurry of stuns. It's not a free puck game at all.
Nope. This is where something like a Legion Commander could come in handy, you know, to be able to go for the save there. Probably wouldn't have been in position to be able to do it anyway, but should be able to get away just in time. Ooh. Never mind, the Wrath of Nature coming in and sniping the kill.
That's nice, because Breezy is going to get a couple of earn charges after that too. So he's back up to the 2 charges at the moment. He's going to cut this bottom wave. Very, very cheeky. Okay. And he is actually going to the items like you were saying. So I was a little bit worried this could be slow, but he's very farmed and he's got 2 components at the moment. In Your Dream really doesn't have a game though, huh? Level 7, straight Deso Rush, but it's going to take quite some time.
Oh, and it's not like the game that we saw previously with the Wraith King, where, you know, the Desolator obviously a very powerful item, but who else is really taking advantage of the puck? That's about it.
Radiant actually going to try and contest his bottom 5, but the instant jump on the Bane means they're going to be down a number.
Nice
so
kisses.
The wall, Waterbit Kisses, laying in Hellfire from afar. Even In Your Dreams looking to get involved, and they'll penalize Army Geniuses for their aggressive positioning. A tier 2 tower attempt early on, 11 minutes in. Yeah, that's something they're going to have to think twice about.
Honestly, don't even hate the tier 2 tower move though. The issue for mine is that you're taking that fight without Wommy there. You know, if he's there, you've got the mechanism, you've got the potential life drain, and I think as well the Earth Spike was used onto Alacrity instead of stopping the Mortimer's Kisses that Jokan was laying out.
At least gives them a little bit more map to play around with now. And our Direx is just going to go back for a smoke. So continuing with the pressure.
Yep, they're going to do it with Wommy this time. So I feel like Wommy might look to place himself in this mid lane, maybe bait a few people to go in onto him. Or Jokan. It's only the support. Still, you hate to give a life up like this.
At least you're not losing any objectives out of it, which is the main importance. It can sometimes feel like when you get to this stage is a lineup that takes towers very early on. Like, what do we do now? Like, we can't really get a tier 2. We can't really take Roshan. These kills don't feel like they're as impactful.
Well, if you could take away some stacks inside the enemy triangle, I feel like that's fairly impactful, as Azura's opting to do. Lucky for him, though, he's still the green dragon. That is green, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. So it doesn't have any kind of splash available.
Wait, it's purple. What are you talking about?
Don't get me started. I know it's not purple.
You sure?
I'm sure.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was a recent hotfix.
Poison is green. I know that.
It's void damage now, my guy. You definitely got to get up with the times. Swami and Lim. Just drop the finger. Tickle him a little bit. There you go. First charge of the game. Put it on cooldown. And a little bit of extra as well. Working on the Blink Dagger, of course, for the Lion.
Got the Ags on Mizu, so not a bad timing at all. He's certainly been taking a bit more of a passive role in this game to make sure that he picks that up really nicely, because again, it's going to enable In Your Dream. Like you said before, he didn't have much of a game up to this point in time, but he's able to finish up that Desolator. That's the thing that he's really hoping for. So at the moment, they've put the Ion Shell onto the puck, giving him that extra component, because so he's going to be doing a whole lot more damage, and he's also freshly picked up that Blink Dagger. Bane looking to make the mid lane as well. Snapfire clears out the top side of the map. So Who is the target that they want to pick off? I would say it's either Wommy or DB. Make sure that you're doing it either around the mid lane because it's the highest importance tower, or bot because that's going to allow you to connect to your Monkey King and actually have the right click potential to take out that tier 1 tower, even though it's not the highest priority in the game.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for Radiant, but I wouldn't hate to see them smoke and try and connect to the Dire triangle as well to get some vision down, because they are just completely free farming near that area. Dire have even made sure that DB has a safe space to farm. I mean, that's a trio of sentries to protect him, and even observe ward as well. Look at how, yeah, they're just controlling. Wow, there's so many sentries.
Yeah, complete understanding of exactly where NIGMA Galaxy are moving around the map here. And I just have to point out as well, like Alacrity, his farm has suffered heavily ever since that first blood that was obtained onto him by the 4-man rotation into the mid lane. He hasn't really recovered all that much, so this smoke is going to be incredibly important for their potential to come back into this game. And this is Alacrity, who at the moment is #1 on the SEA rankings leaderboard. So for him to have not a great time in the laning stage is a pretty significant feat.
I think we do see a way back into this game though for NIGMA Galaxy. It always feels like that as a team when they have some team fight prowess. Like you've got Coil, Wukongs, Mortimer Kisses, Wall. We can name them all. It's still going to be very awkward for Army Geniuses to take a fight into this, even though they've got a net worth lead and, you know, an experienced lead as well. But anything can happen when you have the team fight prowess like they do.
All right, I want to trademark a saying. Basically, but then what? You know, because you might have amazing team fight. You might be able to, you know, combo together. But then what? You know, how are you actually going to be able to take towers? How are you going to be able to take Roshan? How are you going to be able to breach high ground? I feel like that's really where NIGMA Galaxy are lacking in this Desolator build.
You say then what, but do you not feel like this is a team that if they can just try and delay the game and get towards the late game, that they'd be a lot more comfortable to take this?
Maybe. I mean, Darkseer late game is one of the strongest heroes in the... You really want to be going up against a super high level Nature's Prophet? Probably not. You know, we've seen time and time again what he's able to do at the 40+ minute mark of the game. You've also got a Pugna. What if it gets to 25 minutes? Plus 160 Nether Blast damage. At that time, I'm sure he'll have an Aether Lens and a Blink Dagger and constantly be able to move in and out of these team fights and constantly siege, maybe even a Dagon, right, on this Wommy Pugna. Going into the Aghanim Scepter next, wanting to remove the cooldown entirely.
Well, it did get buffed up recently, the first 2 levels. So I think the heal is, yeah, just up a little bit, and the damage as well, of course. So like you said, the Field Medic Pugna is almost in final form.
He needs a different hat. Chit chat, as they say. Do you feel like he needs like one of those classic medic or nurse hats where it's got the little red cross symbol on it?
Yeah, I don't know. This is giving me some not Field Medic vibes, honestly, from the Pugna. Giving me Bruno vibes, but EV. Yeah, what's going on there, Mizu?
I really want to type in chat and just say, yes, tell me. It's a miracle.
Oh, yes.
Tell me why the hell you're spamming.
Why are you...
Disappoint you.
Honestly, the Marcy spammers, you know, go for your life. You know, that's if it's the only time, I'm not flaming Miracle here, but if it's the only time that you have a chance to increase your rank, you know, you gotta, it's like your Christmas, basically. Just know that every single game I will be banning it in the first phase, and I will be picking the...
What are the direct counters? What have you recognized so far to be the big issues against Marcy?
Lockdown and disarm. The 2 things that you need to, and just being hard to kill in general. So something like an Ogre's good, something like a Pango's good, something like a Winter Wyvern can be good as well, just to be able to lock her in place. And the cold embrace to be able to nullify a lot of her damage when she pops her ultimate.
I bet you must feel pretty happy about that, considering you got the Wyvern high tier. So you're probably like, whenever I get an opportunity to play this hero and it counters someone who, like Marcy, I'm sure everyone hates right now, you're probably happy about that.
Kind of happy we didn't see. I mean, we saw a decent amount of Wyvern, but she didn't really get touched with the latest wave of nerfs after a decent performance at TI. Was it part of the winning game as well?
I think so, yeah.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember Maposhka playing it, and she's on the main stage. The next trophy, they get a real life one commission.
Damn, DB saying go next. Alright. DB, what's going on here? You'll have to see it. I mean, you take away my main dire in UK, doesn't matter. Army geniuses at heart. Still the funny lads.
They passed their humor over, so in your dream, an ugly set. Man,
Monkey one? It's definitely not the... I mean, we saw some atrocious sets from a Mega yesterday. Like, I was like, come on, guys. I truly believe your cosmetic game is actually causing you just not to win.
I like the Nature's Prophet set. Like, there's very little of an eye hole for him to be able to see out of, but it fits. Like, this was the desert set that was TI9, right?
You sure? Sure. I don't know how you can just pull that out.
I think it was, because that was when, like, Snapfire came out, right?
Yeah.
She's, like, desert themed.
Yeah.
Shut up!
I don't like. Why am I supposed to remember this? This set came out in the 9th of February back in 2001. Yeah, Dota back then. Whew. Cracking.
2001. What? I'm meant to be the old one. I'm meant to be the one that is losing his memory already. But your little Zoomer brain, I guess, can't just keep.
You know, I was 1 year old at that stage. The world was not ready for me to come into. Freaking scared. Now you losers got to deal with me. Ugh. Shake my head.
All right, so we have passed the 2:40 a.m. mark here in Australia. So I wonder if chat realizes we're seeing things. There's delusion setting in here. People have been getting active on Twitter lately with a lot of their rumors, and this, that, and the other. Zai moving to Liquid. Lots of little whispers about things we talked about. Potential. We're covering. And there've even been whispers about things like Gabby to the European NIGMA Galaxy Racer in the position 1 role. Who knows what could happen? So I'm keen to see. I want to hear in chat as well people's like dream lists. Imagine. Players going to Europe as well. See players going to NA. Everyone's moving everywhere.
I mean, it's been 2 years where we haven't seen as many of the roster swaps. If I remember, or if I've heard correctly, a lot of the contracts are based around when TI ends, and because we didn't have a TI last year, that's why there was a bit of issues in regards to how long these rosters have been up for. Yeah, like you were saying, I mean, Zai released that he's joining Liquid. I mean, that's really...
Paparazzi back in the mid lane.
Come on. Just... I know you got info. Just drop it. Let me know what's going on. Let the lads know.
I'm the new TNC support, baby. Febby who? It's me.
What? Damn, Team C gonna place better, sorry, place worse than what they did last time.
Didn't even make it last time. How could you possibly get worse?
Well, you're gonna place like 4th in TI calls now.
Easy. I'll take 4th place. That's better than I'm expecting.
Bro, what do you mean? You put me in there, we straight up chillin'. He's updating. Yes, the classic closed Dota, and it forces you to update. Why is it remember? When I was casting with Black, we I don't know what happened. His Dota crashed and then uninstalled, and then he had.
Are you sure? Are you sure he didn't just rage?
No, yes. My guy, I wasn't raging while he was casting. He can get a bit emotional, but yeah, no, that was that is truly the secret roster, or at least the release of Zion and Liquid while we were streaming, while casting game. I'm like, right now, let me go check. Let me browse the tweets real quick. Let me see if we got some juicy information. But that's why I'm saying you just gotta drop the details. Let me know who's on OG. Let me know the DNC roster, the Fnatic roster. Like, I know everyone goes to you, Mr. Cream.
Hands off the keyboard, no peeking. What is the active of Fairy Fire?
I have the the active of Fairy Fire is Replenish.
Imbue.
What?
You would have never got that at any stage. What is the one for Soul Ring?
Consume?
Sacrifice.
Close.
A throwback to Lich there. Urn of Shadows.
Dude, what? I don't know this. You make me look. Okay, here you go. I'll guess Urn is Darkness.
Soul Release.
Okay, hang on. Now screw you. Let's
What's Witchblade's passive
what's
called?
Dust use called?
What's Witchblade's passive called? Answer that, and then I will answer the Dust one.
Can I cheat?
No.
The Witchblade. Witchblade.
Witchblade's passive is Witchblade. Yes.
Dope. Let's go.
Dust.
Don't tell him. Sorry, yeah. What's Dust?
Probably. What does Dust do?
Good question.
Reveal?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I just looked. It is. I'm the greatest. 100%. Let's go.
Oh, we need some difficult.
It's on you, baby.
No, I was gonna say we need some just like difficult mechanics in the game where like you can go over and be like, hang on, what the heck is this actually a possibility? Is this a thing? Did we didn't check in the break. I'm still intrigued that Lincoln's and Queen of Plains spell block as well in regards to if it does, like, which one triggers first, because that's going to be interesting to know. Like, maybe it's the one with the higher cooldown. Like, how do you ever base that off, actually? Like, which one would determine? Man, I got no idea.
Apparently I read someone post something about it in chat. I'm not sure how accurate it is.
Nice. In your dreams back. Let's go. Keep going. Sorry.
Apparently it's like, so Quap's one get mirror shielded, so don't use it. It's whichever one you purchase first, that one goes on cooldown first.
Really? Huh.
Whichever one you obtain first. I'm not sure if dropping the item and picking it back up refreshes that or anything like that, but apparently that's how it goes.
Back in the action we go. As Nick Galaxy smoke up 3. Look at a transition towards the dire triangle. Scan on the mark, but even better positioning from Lim. It's just going to be the sacrificial lamb if anyone comes nearby. Yep, scouts out Alacrity and They actually want to try and get set up for the team fight. So they got very good vision in the vicinity.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Just seems like a little bit of a failed movement here. And again, this is one that I was talking about being incredibly important for NIGMA Galaxy Racer, because you just picked up the Blink Dagger. So now there's that reveal. You can play a little bit more defensively around information at hand. Get that little bit of extra time as well to start building towards some of your own Blink Daggers. More importantly, the Lions, because DK got his at what, the 9-minute mark?
Yeah, it was such an exceptional timing for DK, and he's still doing a great job to keep up with the farm from Azura. What do you feel like the game plan is going to be, though, for Army Geniuses? Because, again, we saw these early towers.
They're on limb.
Yeah, catches out Beams.
What a follow here.
Floppies. Nice, that
What he's doing there.
No, either.
Going to accomplish much of anything. Varese, again, this is just your position 5 Weaver, so even if they were to kill him for a 3-man rotation, you're not hating your life all that much. Goes... That might have been a sensual that he was going underneath. That is a Dream Call pop just for a position 5.
You'll take anything at this stage. With how high of a level he is. I mean, he's level 9, so yeah, anything you can get, you're more than happy with. Alacrity, the one to find the kill. Instantly gonna have to start to keep tabs on this bottom lane as Wami and Lim are up Polis and Fiend's group opportunity. Even Mizu looks to get involved as well. They're gonna lay down the Mortimer Kisses from afar. Polis has actually tried to target the Lion instead of the Pugner with the Fiend's group, so another support's gonna end up falling here, but they're looking for some retribution. I'm in the area. Level 12. He's got that second point in the Elder Dragon form. Even DB as well is gonna show up.
Done. I mean, it's the sort of play that you can make because you're not at all afraid of the puck coming through with the Dream Coil, right? So they're gonna opt to do it with... They dropped the wall of replica on. Was that? Yeah, that was just there. So it can actually end up assisting with much of anything.
Yeah, I think it was just to secure the kills before. Not sure.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you're just happy with anything at this stage, you know, popping multiple ultimates on position 4, position 5, and yeah, they're going to have to deal with that, even if it meant getting one kill in return.
Okay, so I really think someone on Dire has to itemize into a medallion, or this game is just going to continue to stall out, and I do not believe that's what Army Geniuses want. So... you need Roche. Like, what do you can't take objectives. Like, they're just flying across the map, cool and all, but you had this early tower advantage and still raiding a, not really falling behind in gold. And that should not be happening when you have all 3 T1 towers down.
I suppose maybe you can opt to do it now on Varese instead of going into the Aghanim Scepter, considering you've got the Pugner that's kind of fulfilling that a little bit with, you know, just keeping him as healthy as possible, the frontliners. So it's something that does synergize quite well with Weaver, considering he's, you know, slow movement speed, so he's vulnerable to being hit a little bit, so that extra arm is going to be nice. And, you really, you know, you don't want to buy it on a Pugner, you don't want to buy it on the Lion either. It's like the Nature's Prophet and the Dragon Knight need to be the ones receiving the slash solid press buff. So yeah, if you were wanting to get it, I would definitely look to give it over to Varese. They've at least got the Swarm for other than that, not much.
Well, what are your thoughts on the Spirit Vessel from Varese instead of just like the naked urn?
Into the Monkey, it's great, right? Like, it's going to make sure that pre-BKB, which he's only one component towards, he's very vulnerable at having nowhere near as effective of the Jingu Mastery lifesteal.
Yeah, I guess even the Darks here as well. Actually, how does that work with the Aghanim Scepter? For Doxy, the bonus health you get, are you going to minimize that as well? I don't know if it takes like different effective healing.
Nah, it just gives health. It's not like...
He is actually optimizing to a BKB from Mizu, so looking for a little bit different of a build instead of utility after the Ags.
That is for certain.
I mean, I don't hate it. The thing is, like, he's very fun. Like, he's number 2 in net worth at the moment, so Mizu in isolation, he's not having a bad game, despite the fact that he didn't have that melee +4 to be able to play around. The issue now is, though, that, you know, it kind of feels like you need to do everything in these. BKB is, of course, going to help with that. I feel like it's BKB plus normal punch that you need to have that significant impact in a lot of these engagements.
Breeze, once again, caught out. He's going to try and play around to instantly break the coil. Now, the space that your Weaver fight. No, 2 health. 2 health the courier lives on. It was only Clarity and the what else was that? I think it was a neutral out of the puck and the Van Brace. Yep. Meanwhile, Polisson is also continuously setting up down bottom,
but somehow able to get away.
Runs back out. He's got some heroes coming in the area, but it looks like they're going to be a little bit too late to assist the Bane. So a 1-for-1 overall across the map. But we've got some big items now complete for Army Geniuses. A BKB for Azura, and Lin just completes the Blink Dagger.
Also an Orchid now for DB as well. So this is their key timing. They might not want to go for it straight away, just considering you just used the Elder Dragon form. So look to play a little bit around. They would have seen that they had the multi-hero rotation down towards the bottom side. They're looking to take maximum advantage out of it.
Mizu just misses the wall. A little bit too far pushed up forward, but it might not even matter here with how they've still been able to take the fight around their objective. The extra reinforcements paying off drastic here as Nick Galaxy find 2. And into answer, they will cancel the Fiend's Grip. Severi's able to play actually super aggressively to try and find the kill on Polisson, but once he oversteps the mark, Alacrity will drop the coil to penalize the Weaver.
Fan of the sorry is Veriz when he makes a good play. Not that time around, though. I feel like they just got way too keen. You didn't have the BKB yet.
Dire's middle tower is under.
Previously used when it was still just level 1. So just getting a little bit antsy here on Army Geniuses. You don't want to give up a solid start to the game that they've had.
Lin revealed the blink. Go Ken. Oh, great position. That cookie out to safety, and it's also Orchid reveal as well, which they get nothing out of it. At least Snapfire gets silver linings, but they do lose the tier 1 tower nonetheless.
Not often that you see a Snapfire going into something like the Spirit Vessel either. Normally it's the Solar Crest or something along those lines, but the reasoning for it could be good against the Dragon Knight. It's going to be good against the Pugna. As well, wasn't able to get full use out of that life drain. Found out here. I'm hearing an Orchid.
Just the Bane down bot. DB. The solo kill for himself. They're starting to think about taking Roche, but easily scouted.
This is like one of the fact that Polisson's able to get as much as he has done on this Bane, who is terrible at wave clearing, is kind of nuts, right? Like he's constantly keeping this lane shoved in. They haven't lost this tower despite being up against a Dragon Knight, a Nature's Prophet, and a Pugna.
Alacrity? The blinks continuously being cancelled. It'd be a nice TP on the backline as well. We can assemble the Aeon Disc. Is it enough to get out to safety? He's out of there. Alacrity.
It's split second.
Hey, well, great use of the assemble there. It was a heavy commitment as well for Army Geniuses, bringing all 5 heroes to the top side of the map. So we'll see what NIGMA Galaxy want to do now with this information.
Gonna smoke up. Triangle, not scouted out just yet. Bees, it's only actually none still finished up. And speaking of those, Polison's actually one of the ones going into it.
Azura leads the charge. They're going to be careful if they group up, playing away from the darks here at the moment. Mizu, where's the lead? What a spike! Oh my god. Lim, the timing on that.
I think that could have been a bit of luck as well, though.
100%.
Yeah, just wanted to secure it, make sure that the Bane wasn't able to live any longer. And now they're just going to look to convert this into Roche with the long suck coming through from Wami from the outer side of the pit. This is exactly where he wants to be placed around it. He actually did change it up. He went into the normal punch a little bit sooner on the Darkseer, so he was able to turn that fight around with the use of it. It would have been amazing, but side today.
Thoughts on the Aghanim Shard for the Pugna?
Have never seen it actually come off in a game. So, I mean, he's going into the 4-staff next. I feel like he needs to go a BKB.
I was
if you're
just
ever
going to say
get any
that.
kind of value.
Yeah. Oh, Puck being caught out
Should be
once
okay.
again. It's within your dream, standing hand in hand.
Want to try and pop the Aeon Disc if they can. Like, literally any damage will pop it, but
Maybe the
case.
Wrath. They can find the target up on the high ground. Polisson
no.
utilizing the ultimate with the Wukongs. Swami's in trouble once again. Back to safety. So difficult to lock on top of the Pugna. And then it's going to be Army Geniuses that can turn the fight. They don't have the ultimates, but it's not going to matter. It's just reigns supreme here. It's a great call into multiple heroes, but the Monkey King's already committed to a retreat, so has to utilize the boundless strike from afar instead of getting dirty in the middle of it all.
he walked into his own illusion and ended up getting himself killed. Value coming out of the Spirit
Oh,
Vessel.
DB?
They're actually spot out. So close. Catching Alacrity with the Swarm.
Like, that could have been a lot worse than what it was for Radiant. I mean, it's a 3 for 3 if you're including the ages.
DK survived. He would have had that neck Delta Dragon form to be able to push into this tier 2 tower on the bottom side of the map. A little anxious about that now. The great things for Puck, right? Especially with this uber defensive build that always look to split push these lanes.
They're still sticking around though on Dial. Gotta be so cautious of how you take the fight into DB.
Oh,
Look at that! Mizu! Oh, that's ever so filthy. And back onto 3. DB's gonna try and BKB TP out. He'll make it, but oh my god, the rest of the team just has to look on and watch. Not the way you want to go, just standing there like a pinata on the high ground.
It's one of those weird engagements, right? It feels like you need the Dragon Knight there on the front lines just so that you can have this hero that he's not going to die, right? Like, he's got the BKB. The only time that he's going to be in any risk of doing that is when you're going up against this this Snapfire, who's got the Spirit Vessel onto you and is going to be raining down the Mortimer's Kisses. But outside of that, Azura feels almost unkillable.
Mizu runs straight to DB. Look at the damage with the Nature's Prophet illusion. They get the break of the coil as well. My god. Mizu with all this farm is ridiculous.
Doing a very good job. This is the reason why you always need to be considering the Darkseer whenever you're coming up against NIGMA Galaxy Racer.
Now they're even looking for a setup mid as well. Then instant
Nice
cancels the
drop by
Fiend's
mid
grip.
again.
Will also stop the Boots of Travel TP, so Puck won't be active for the team fight mid.
Tower is under attack.
I think, is he getting damn close to picking up that Aghanim Scepter on the DK? Yes, he is. Only about 100 or so gold away from having that. So that plus even the level 20 extra strength. He might even opt to go for the Elder Drag Form attack range, to be honest, just to assist with that high ground sieging. Is going to make it very difficult for Radiant to look to try and take him down. You know, I mentioned it before. One of the reasons why I wasn't quite expecting the Pugna is that they are still very magic damage oriented, and that's one of the big things that this DK Aghanim Scepter provides, that 20% increased magic resistance.
I gotta say as well, a huge pops to the fact that Alacrity's actually been able to assemble some form of a game here. Second in net worth, highest level as well, and he's got Aghanims now. Multiple break mechanics. I should say multiple ways to break the coil.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'm really starting to worry with how Army Geniuses can take the team fights.
Normal punch value, man. It's too strong. He doesn't even need to save the surge for it as well. He's also just got to provide that little bit of extra movement speed. But look to quick join in the rest of his team. The faster you are before the punch, it's like using momentum. This is physics class here in Dota. The stronger it is. If they could catch out Jokam here. Not able to get the Blink Dagger off in time. They have the stun in time though. Well, won't need it.
Well, this. I mean, it's not even late game, but it feels like it's getting to that stage with how hard the Nature's Prophet is hitting. A 4,000 net worth advantage compared to the hero on the second. And it's going to continue to get scary and scary with DB working on his Satanic as the next item.
He's got his Aether Lens as well. He's still going into that 4 stuff. I really want to see the big from an just so that he can stop himself from being interrupted by this Darkseer.
Look to drop the ball. A lot of the ultimates force just on the first life. It's a beautiful vacuum, but it's on the outskirts of the Wukong's command. Wami trying to put himself on the line here to help protect the Dragon Knight. I mean, that's a full usage of the Fiend's Grip, and all the ultimates are wasted with no one dying. And now Army Geniuses can look to penalize this with the ultimates on cooldown. They'll jump on forward for more as Azura wants the target. They'll look to reset the positioning as Lim's just soaking him dry. There's no way they can escape. Only relying on Azura being controlled for a short duration with the Nightmare. Two heroes down dusted, but that fight off the back of a huge save from Wami.
Yeah, Wami's coming in clutch here, making sure he's positioning himself incredibly defensively. And that was even through the Spirit Vessel as well, I believe. So multiple charges of that used. There's down to one now on Joe-Cam here. And, even the Mortimer's Kiss is used at the very end there, not enough to clean up a single kill. So big team fight victory there for Army Geniuses. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to convert it into much else, but mind all that much, although he's a bit cheeky here, just playing constantly around Alacrity. Psychic Headband as well. Did you need anything else on Wami? Give it over to the line as well, but
I really wouldn't actually hate Wami holding spider legs, because I think he's very reliant on his positioning this game just to get in range to keep someone alive. We literally just saw prime example in that last fight with what the Life Drain could do. I mean, there's argument for either, because then you could also say like maybe Lion's important to have that extra range to cancel the Fiend's Grip or get the jump onto the puck, which it does look like Lim got rid. Yeah, okay. Psychic Headband is going to be coming out for Lim.
Guess who's got their Aghanim Scepter?
Weaver?
Position 5, Weaver, Aghanim Scepter, and he was holding the Philosopher's Stone the entire time. Now he's actually going to be doing something with one of his neutral items. There's that additional burn damage as well from the Immolate, but more importantly, the armor and the magic resistance. Level 18 as well, hit up with that tome. So it's going to be a lot harder to kill Varys now.
Oh, it just hit the extra level. I don't know how you really deal with it, to be honest. I mean, that repositioning out of a lineup that's really reliant on the control. What happens if you time-lapse out a coil?
I would say it snaps.
Soon to find out here. Is still a very even game in regards to the net worth, but it's definitely felt like Army Geniuses have controlled this through pretty much the entire stage.
Did opt to go for the 20 strength on the Dragon Knight. You can understand why. Like, it just provides a little bit of everything. Tankiness. And the damage potential as well. When you're looking at Siege, that high ground, he used the Elder Dragon form in combination with the Arcane Rune. The AC as well. So that's going to provide them with that little bit of extra high ground siege or the Roche taking potential that you were kind of wanting.
I think now it's a different story. When you're this far ahead, you got a bunch of items to be able to take care of that. Before, it was just like they were just farming for 7 minutes straight after taking T1 towers.
Titanic as well. Obtained by DB. 400 gold away. You farming in this safe area, although you can see he's been around close to this Observer Ward. Paulson just a couple of seconds too late to be able to join in. He had the Aether Lens and the Psychic Headband as well, so he would have been able to catch him out from huge range.
That is going to be a big item for Bane once he can complete the BKB, though. Just at least securing a even longer duration Fiend's Grip, 6 seconds maxed out. And that control could just be enough to keep someone inside the Wukongs, and Monkey King's damage, it's starting to get there. Still a bit behind on In Your Dream.
Saw that illusory orb go into the mid lane, so if Puck's not going to reveal, they might have an understanding that they're going for this sort of movement. They're pinging it out as well. Wami, Barriers, Lim, all standing at the top of the staircase, wanting to pop it. Barriers as well, just wanting to secure every single choke point that they can. What his actual positioning is like as well.
Make a further wraparound. Know exactly where they are with that sentry job. Just get the confirmation now.
In return, you know the general area that they're in. They might go for the long wraparound, maybe even baiting out this regen, and I think that's the play here.
I mean, Alacrity's got A on.
Yeah, with that in mind, if they're able to bait someone else out there that might be looking to back him up. I think that'd be the dream scenario. Half duration left on the smoke.
Oh, Mizu's got a jump. Bit of force off to reposition himself. Keep in mind, he's still got the BKB, but Alacrity simultaneously still got the call on top of the backhand. They're going to try and target the Lion, which will do so successfully. But Mizu's down, and he does have a buyback. TP, a BKB TP out will be successful. He's going to look to try and rejoin afterwards. If you can make it back on the high, but in your dreams, just in so much trouble. The Dragon are completely untouched to the team fight. Lim, a free jump in as well once again. I mean, he was forced to buy back there, but a 2-for-1 and back into Roche they go.
I don't think DB was part of that team fight at all, actually. Yeah, he just used his Wrath of Nature, right?
He BKB TP'd out. He was in the middle of it.
Yeah. But there was too much going.
Oh, I mean, dude, Dota team fights now is just a different beast than what it was like a year ago. 2, 3, even keep going.
Yeah, it was a great hex coming out there from Lim, making sure that they had the potential to chain stun down there's Mizu, because if he's able to get off that BKB, that team turns a really, he's able to get off his vac wall, his normal punch, and then suddenly you don't have the long-term sustain just with all of those illusions there. I mean, at least they still do have the Lion as well as the Pugna, actually, that are very quickly able to deal with all of those Darkseer Wall of Replica illusions.
Alright, so Aegis on Azura, the Agnem Shard delivered over to the Nature's Prophet, DB. Setting up bottom at the moment. He's going to need some assistance, and with Weaver TPing in, will be fast enough for the time-lapse, and instantly DB just turns around and like, oh, you want to go with me, brother? I'll just Bloodthorn you, rip and part with a couple of right clicks, and thank you very much.
Azura's got his Gold Cuirass now. They're probably just going to look to take it safe, play around the bottom side of the map. That's where it's being circled at the moment by Bariz. With the TP away, they know that there's no way Bane can be part of this to try and catch them out as they're going for the outpost control. And they'll just look to continue to push on forward. Unluckily, or luckily enough, the DD has not been spotted on the bottom side of the river.
Oh, yo, Cam.
Cheeky
nice blink away.
Nicely done.
Yeah, we're seeing just
one range creep. That's all they got to this push, but it's going to be enough.
That's all they need. We're starting to see the level 25s. DB's got that teleportation cooldown removed. Puck as well, level 25 as well with the Waning Rift AoE. So that's the first 2 heroes of the game so far hitting that stage. Army Geniuses. They're going for a smoke, but there's really nowhere to connect to. Top's pushed out, mid's at about the halfway point, so there's not going to be an obvious lane here to go.
It's going to grab it. You've also got level 20 on the Pugna, so that 20% extra life drain heal as well. Enormous. Being able to help out Azura. Now you actually do significantly out heal the Spirit Vessel life drain. Listen, in your dream, they're holding hands up towards this top side of the map. Look like they're in a position to be able to catch anyone out. They're just playing uber defensively right now. In Galaxy. With good reason as well. Fighting into the Aegis without your Fiend's Grip, without your Mortimer's Kisses. Be hard though.
I love this series.
TP? The TP was starting to come up top. Any vision at the moment.
Better already.
Continue to move around. They'll see the explosion of the Nether Blast. I have to wonder if that might bait a few people to go in a little bit deeper, or DB perhaps getting caught out here.
Big fan of this Observer Ward though that they placed around the Tinker location. If he's actually going to TP in. Does he get Vision of Polissa? No, he doesn't. Sprout just off the mark. They're about to see In Your Dream shortly. The quick pounce away. He's actually gone for the TP out. No, there's the Observer Ward coming into play. The value from that from Varese on point.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you have with the sneaky Weaver, right? Not only the waves, but you can also get these cheeky super deep wards off that the enemy team oftentimes won't be able to call out.
Now they're looking to split up the map. Mid, another bot. Drop the wall to at least make it a little bit more difficult. Yokem even playing around with the Scatter Blast pushback, but it's got the Aegis for another minute. And now that he's outside the wall range, I'm just pushing back in once again. Look at this, he's getting pushed back left, right, and center. Oh my god. See, I mean, Ward's about to expire. They'll lay down the Mortimer Kisses, but instantly Azura, a BKB into the blink away.
Dream Coil. That was an Ag's Dream Coil and it didn't hit.
Even Aeon Disc got popped as well here. So honestly, Army Geniuses, if they want to think about sticking around, they could be able to potentially, with Elder Dragon form and BKB on cooldown for Azura, they might think otherwise.
And another game in a really solid position for Army Geniuses. It feels like with this new lineup, it's not so much are they going to have a good day or not, because they're getting some consistency, which was one of the main complaints about them in previous months.
So far, this series is looking very, very solid at the moment. 16,000 net worth lead in game 2.
Let's see if they get antsy this time around. I mean, they've still got a few cooldowns. Wrath of Nature, 35 seconds away. No Elder Dragon form for another 10 seconds. Try and catch that one out, though, with Lem's Finger of Death again available. Just going to play it a little bit more patient.
Yeah, going high ground's not the easiest. Unfortunately, they lost that Aegis timer. So all in all, Mizu did a very good job to kind of protect the high ground with the wall. And they lost that tier 3 tower, but I'd say you're pretty happy with it in that regard. You know, I was bringing up that I'm favoring NIGMA Galaxy as the game goes later and later, but the fact that they're not actually keeping up in farm kind of makes it feel like you have to push it even further. It's a big game.
Again, like any team fight that they've won, they haven't really taken anything as a result of it, right? Only tier 1 towers have gone down. This was the and what conundrum that I was talking about, right? Like you can win a fight, but then nothing happens. So it's not even really like you've accomplished anything on the map.
And now you just have so much mobility across you. Like Furion can deal with bottom. The rest of the team can play around the Radiant Triangle, where you just look to pretty much control mid and top through this, where you cut the lanes and so much map control. Well, more than likely get a pick up on Lim. Aeon Disc is going to be forced out here, but the rest of Dire, I think about contesting this team fight as DB, looking to start on top of the Bane. A pretty useless hero now that he's wasted the ultimate. Oh, a 1-for-1, a lot longer of a death timer for the Lion, considering it did buyback previously, and now they don't have this way to start on the puck.
Looking to catch Alacrity there just with the Bloodthorn, but fast enough for Alacrity to be able to get on away. Well, I mean, there was a period of time where he was going for...
Hang on, just be enough. What's a cooldown at now? It's already mine.
I know we're kind of in the offlane Refresher Orb meta. Wami had Refresher Orb queued up for a little bit, and I'm like, what the hell? Go Refresher. He doesn't have it anymore, but he did have it. He sold his magic wand so that he would have the item slot to be able to buy the ultimate orb, the component towards the hex. Don't hate it. You know, it's just another layer of lockdown. You've already got the Aether Lens. You've got the Timeless Relic as well. I was kind of thinking maybe he might just go back into recompleting the Arcane Boots. You've already got the magic wand, so start to build towards the Holy Locket. That plus the Life Drain Heal plus 20% at level 20. You just... insane medic capabilities, but he's looking to take it a bit more offensively.
I mean, you got to give me some, you know, theory crafting. Why the hell would we want me be going for a refresher?
I don't know.
That's not good enough. Come on.
No.
Just 2 hit the Bane?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's gotten late enough that Witchblade does a lot of extra damage. The even just the ticking over time.
That's a crap load of intel that he's got. Okay, thoughts on a static cap, a 30-second cooldown, which gives you, I mean, you pretty much 40% status resistance is just nuts.
I think it's just like your, oh, what's that? You dream called me? Well, I'm just going to BKB and walk out of it, basically.
I just don't know why that's an item. Like, I will say for the longest time, status resistance is by far the most broken mechanic in Dota. And the fact that
At
you
least
just
took out the Minotaur Horn, though. Like, that was a little busted to have a mini BK.
But now you've got it, like, cool. I agree. Like, I said it, cap, man. Like, I just 40% status resistance is way too much. I do not care.
I'm not a fan of hats either. I understand your frustration.
What's the hate with caps?
My hair looks not good.
Sounds like a you problem. Yeah, that's a big you problem.
Got the +5 Treants now on DB, so that potential is even stronger. It's going to give Alacrity more farm. He's able to farm this one up.
Wait, is that a maelstrom? Oh, it's got the Stormcrafter, okay.
Yeah.
Hang on a second, what's going on? Alright, Roshan up. Third Rosh of the game, Refresher Shard.
Oh, they can get to the Pugner. There we go. He doesn't need
okay,
to buy the off.
that makes so much more sense why he didn't go into it. Who do you give the Refresher Shard to, though? Double BKBs could be a consideration.
I give it to DK for sure.
My lord.
DB is a fast boy.
Like, I've seen NIGMA Galaxy back with, of course, the previous roster, well, previous team Galaxy Racer before they formed. They were an incredible team to somehow come back and craft a team fight out of nowhere. So
With the Darkseer.
yeah, with the Darkseer as well. We've seen it time and time again. We literally saw what Mizu could do so far this game and almost bring them back. Well, bring them to a stage where they could contest and at least be 45 minutes in. Otherwise, I think if Mizu wasn't doing what it was earlier, this game should be over. But
Yeah.
what do you do for Army Geniuses? Do you just siege down one objective? Do you try and split up the map as DB just not 4 hits the Bane? Might even get Yokam afterwards for a little bit of cherry on top. Yurkam's out of there, but yeah, what do you do? Do you just like DK up top, you just pop it down bot? Can you actually go into all of them? As well, Hex is out. Pugner has this initial control, Limb from afar there, of course, waiting for the Aeon Disc to be popped. Alacrity quite temp slippery. Until DB jumps him.
Close. He's even got the Gem of True Sight, I believe. No, actually, it's the Waning Rift revealing the Invis units there. So even just using that to allow the lane creep to take out the Observer Ward in the mid lane. I think there's nothing really stopping you from just going into this this mid lane as the Dragon Knight, right? Like you've got, I don't even bottom. They might choose to do it considering they've got that double siege creep wave. Seems like where they're looking to group up around that Refresher Shard put in.
I hear a BKB. What's DB doing up here?
Radiant
Tower is under attack.
Where's DB?
Distraction plays.
Oh, back
I like the
there you go.
positioning of the wall.
Don't you just go mid now?
Yep.
How much do you like it now?
I like it for what it was.
Alright, up the siege. Azura. Keep in mind, he's not the one with the
refresher off.
Aegis.
It's easy, it's fine.
Double
And then if you
Satanic,
use-
double
Use it there,
BKB.
just go top.
Go Cam. Good attempt. Actually going to look to push in forward in your dream. He's got that extra ring capability. They're fall pretty low. They've got to rely on the Satanic. In fact, he's play around with the time lapse. Back up to a respect. On a health
Fiend's
keep. They've got to be cautious because Fiend's grip on top of the backline. There's no. He's the team fight that NIGMA Galaxy Racer are looking for. They've killed off 3 of the Ages included. A beautiful blink after the respawn, but instantly in your dream looking to continue on for more. But he's got back up in lane. A finger of death from downtown, but they've still got to be cautious to BKB on cooldown. The chain lockdown. Too much for the Furon to handle. Alacrity secures a triple beyond godlike on the puck. As they looking to transition it for more as well as a freeze. He can try and scurry to the northern side.
Dagon's coming.
He's gonna make it out. Oh, he's outie. Looks like Lim also makes it out too, but there you go. That's the team fight. I mean, I've been waiting for it, man. I've just been consistently saying NIGMA Galaxy, their team fight is going to get there. I was waiting for it. You see it.
It just needed to be hitting the high ground, basically, for it to not be the case quite as much. And this is a DK, right? This is a DK with Assault Cuirass, level 25, Satanic, Aghanim Scepter, BKB, and they were still able to burst him down through the use of that Fiend.
Yeah, they got big issues with the Bane's ulti. I mean, what do you... Does DK just have to target Polosun? But it looks like when you go for a siege like that, he can position so far in the back line.
There are very few heroes that are going to be able to get in onto those backlines. I thought Lim did a pretty decent job there. Early use of the time lapse, actually. 15 seconds, I suppose, but Conscious now might look to use the glyph this way.
Lotus will perfect. Zera's back alive. Furon's up in 14 seconds as well. NIGMA Galaxy. Are they going to still continue to stick around? Once again, the Fiends get laid over the Wukons. They need some assist as they need it now. A beautiful song to be able to prevent the life drain to keep the Dragon Knight alive. Alacrity. An incredible team fight from him once again. Oh my god, this puck doing it all at the moment for the side of Radiant.
Just doing a little bit of a net worth check there about how they were. It was 22,000 net worth lead.
Middle tower was worth a damn. It will
Quite the swing, huh?
It was about 4 minutes ago.
Is DB going rapier? I know. Yeah, no, he was chilling by the secret shop. They bought back on the dragon item. I mean, that is a huge buyback because we've seen now 2 fights in a row. They have a big opportunities to kill this hero.
Gave over the refresher shard as well. Wami was holding it previously. No, but it's so challenging, right? Because now you've opened up a huge win condition for NIGMA Galaxy. I was about to say, you're gonna complete that TP? I'm not sure about that one, DB. Catching onto the puck. Regen, and as soon as you get level 25 on the puck, like, the waning shift is just... it's stupid. Like, no hero should be this mobile in the game.
Alright, it's going to be going to a Lotus Orb. I was just going to say, maybe the Weaver could consider a Hex, but it's going to be a huge item to protect the Dragonite from the Fiend's grip. Maybe even the Nature's Prophet as well with how he's positioning. But, I mean, this game, the net worth graph just really tells the story of how they've been able to come back into this. I mean, it was... What would you say the lead was? 22,000?
22,000 5 minutes ago.
My God. I mean, the fact that they are about to break even in gold, probabilities in their favor, that is just a... And now you're at the stage where, yep, team fights are going to start to reign supreme. We've been seeing 5v5s for quite some time, but now it feels like Radiant are the ones that really been able to start to spellcast to a level like we'd expect.
I feel like we're getting to the stage where it's going to need to be the inevitable. The Nature's Prophet, the Rat Dota is going to need to come out. He's getting close to the level 30, and you've got this gigantic creep wave on the bottom side of the map with a couple of siege creeps to help him out. I don't know if a Bane's going to do too much to deal with that, but still, someone needs to address this push that is eventually going to happen. Might even cause him to go into a little bit of a different item build, but realistically, he doesn't have any slots to be able to go into something like a Desolator. He played for the 60-minute game, Desolator 2. The Stygian Desolator, I believe it's called now, as the tier 5 neutral item.
So we're going to be here for another 8 minutes.
At least. Maybe not with that buyback on it. The one poor thing that I think we've seen from Army Geniuses this game so far, and man, the pop potential that this puck has is nuts. Level 5 Dagon, E-Blade, all the spell combinations together, low cooldown. Timeless Relic.
Yep. Dire behind DB, Radiant behind In Your Dream. Pop whatever he can. Instant time lapse. Now on cooldown for about 15 seconds, which could be a window for Radiant as they're looking to try and utilize this opening that they got. Mizu, they jump in onto 2, combined up with the coil. This is going to give a big opportunity for In Your Dream to lay it down. The Wukongs, and they just get ripped apart. There's no answer now to the late game as Army Genius is just scurrying to safety.
The Aeon Disc on Alacrity.
Actually holding up on the higher ground. He's just going to jump on forward, refresher instantly. Now he's got another round of the wall to replica with a buyback. DB looking to rejoin the fray, but they've got to keep in mind is that puck. Oh, what a nuisance, man. It's just dealing with a backlight, ref fight, and Senna. Now you got multiple win conditions. Fury on DK, no buybacks available.
Still doesn't have the Aeon Disc popped. He's able to dodge all of this damage because everything feels like it needs a little bit of a up. He like the lion, you know. This game, if they're going to be able to come back into Army Geniuses now, feels like it is on the back of it. You need to catch out the puck finally once, not only to pop the Aeon Disc, but you got to do it twice so that you're able to actually burst it down. We're showing number 1 SEA leaderboards. This is the kind of play that can solo carry those games that for some reason you're stuck with someone 5,000 MMR below.
I mean, you've even got a position one like In Your Dream, who's still a little bit behind net worth compared to his... In Your Dream's done an exceptional job to at least have a performance this game.
Couldn't have asked for a much better neutral item though for In Your Dream. The Witchbane going to be fantastic at being able to deal with that Bloodthorn if it gets used onto anyone. If you use the Decrepify as well, pretty useless. Strong that they were able to pick that one up.
Puck's even going into the overwhelming blink next as well, so just more survivability, a little bit of extra burst potential as well, and we've
Deal
almost
with them treeing.
Yep, that's a big thing. Deal with the split push. Is he got bots 2? No, he doesn't have bots 2 just yet. But I mean, it's, I don't know if I want to say desperation smoke, but I feel like if they lose one more fight, this game's over.
Standing in the Roche pit just as it's running, will Paulson be there in time? Yep, they'll see it.
Like, you get the high ground here. Positioning. Paulson is a pretty key kill in your dream. Jumps instantly up forward as well. A beautiful timing in the Nightmare, but they need to try and keep him alive longer and longer until he can get the BKB off. Is it going to be fast enough? It's not. They'll lose in your dream, but he's going to buy back if he wants to rejoin the fight. There's you laying down the parallel wall. Massive amount of buybacks coming in, but once again, Alacrity completely unscathed through the team fight. DP, he's in trouble. A BKB wasted. He attempted the TP up, and I'm like, beautiful timing. It'll completely waste the Fiend's Grip along with the Word Collector Man. So Army Geniuses, they can look to reset. Ultimate's down. Almost dead as well. Just gets away. 200 health. But they won't have the line for the fight.
That was close. They were finally able to pop that A on disc, and just a couple right clicks from DB was enough to take him down to that low. It was crazy how much damage they were able to output when they could finally lock him in place. But be able to join the rest of his team pretty quickly with that overwhelming blink as well.
Radiant still controlling the area with a lot of vision here.
Coming soon.
Oh, there's a DD. My God, are you serious? Daddy gave him 56 minutes in? What's going on? Why is there a DD in front of the Roche pit? Not fair. Mizu just making space. Time creation or shoot to fall. Aghanim's refresher shot as well. Keep in mind, they're actually going to leave the pit, so an early BKB usage from Azura. Trying to find the target. Hasn't found the opening just yet. Another use of the wall. Not his target, but meanwhile, the backline, Alacrity's doing an incredible job just putting them away from protecting the Dragon Knight. That's a dieback for Azura. Now, Pugner's going to be the next on the agenda. He's going to buy back. He's going to look to rejoin first. Still, it's the claimed here. I mean, did you just rat? I think you have to. It's too late though.
You need to want to join in that one.
Catch a Reaper, anyone that you can claim here is going to be a big kill, forcing out these buybacks.
I'm on the deck. Oh, they can't be.
They're still pretty close by. Maybe Paulson can get the Nightmare. At least he'll tick out to the Bloodthorn. Wami and Lim standing hand in hand. They're playing so aggressively right now, even though they don't have the numbers advantage. But the issue is that Paulson once again a BKB Fiends get the long duration. A dieback for your Pugner, but luckily enough, it's given enough of an opportunity for DK's buyback to come back up.
So back and forth, man. Like, what is the buyback status this game? It's Puck that has it, Darkseer has it, and Lion has it. That is it. Everyone else, they can afford it. They just don't have the time because it's been such a back and forth encounter. And, well, what was it? 22k net worth lead at about the 45-minute mark for Army Geniuses has become 19k for NIGMA Galaxy now. So huge net worth swing. We're approaching that glorious 60-minute mark that, you know, something might happen. A miracle could occur that allows them to come back into this one. Maybe the Fallen Sky can come through. Needed to provide that extra little layer of lockdown.
All right, buybacks. Status, Puck, Darkseer, and the Lion. Everyone else is on cooldown. Oof. How close to some of the level 30s are we to? We just still only the two heroes at the moment. But Monkey King pretty close in that regard. Oh, I mean, still got a lot of 29 to get to.
I mean, the big timing for me, and I'm not sure if it's going to happen because he's a little far away, is Lion being able to get A. I think if that happens, you know, you suddenly don't have to be quite as precise with a lot of your movements. You might be able to catch the Puck off guard with the usage of that because you're expecting the Hex to be in, you know, only so much range and further away, caught out.
Keep in mind, Dire also lost that gem in the previous fight as well. I think Vision is something we haven't harped on enough, but the initiation from either team has been really, really important. Army Geniuses are really playing off the back of just the creep wave vision and information they could get, whereas Radiant, they've had really good observer set up consistently.
If they're going for a bit of a bait here, look at Paulison. He TP'd down towards the bottom side. He hasn't revealed himself. Try and catch out this Nature's Prophet, but like he wants to reveal himself just yet. I think they've pinged it though.
Yeah,
they know he's there.
100% certain with that scan.
Go for a bit of a reversal play here. You know, the TP was starting on DB. Have to be very careful considering he doesn't have buyback for a little bit over a minute.
I think he should be aware that bottom is warded, or at least have there's percentage because of that scan connecting. So I think you have to start to play accordingly. In Your Dream did just run underneath an observer sentry as well mid, but he just still for another 2 minutes. God damn, we're 60 minutes in. So Book of the Shadows, Dragonite.
Terrible.
It's pretty creepy,
Absolutely
right?
terrible. It's the worst intro.
Let them. Oh my god. Puck almost stole the Arcanist armor. Yep. Hex is out. Aeon Disc is still available. They're gonna have to wait for it. Ask for its instantly. Alacrity. The safety with the face check this time. Look at the hex. Oh no! The one mistake. The one mistake he's had so far for the past goddamn 45 minutes. Oh.
It's a big one. He's got plenty of gold to be able to buy back, but this is a big dragon that you've got moving forward. The Moonshot available as well. He's got the extra half second on the Dragon Tail, so it just means that, you know, if you're caught out of position, you are dead. That is a long period of lockdown.
Are you gonna force his buyback though? Oh, they got the Deso.
Nice.
I mean, you could probably.
I think
backpack.
you could just backpack Nature's Prophet for sure.
Okay, what are the ones we got right now? Dire only got 3. Radiant already got 4. Wait, did Dire get Deso too? Yeah, they did. Okay, and Radiant got it. So Monkey's holding Stygian, and he's also holding Pirate Hat. Classic position 1s.
Mirror Shield's not that great this game. I feel like most of the time you're going to pop the BKB on the Dragon Knight before get up. Actually, Dragon Knight's going to be the one holding his own team's Mirror Shield.
Oh, that's
Pirate
great
Hat,
versus the Fiend's grip.
Yeah.
Still holding the Desolator as the Nature's Prophet. Someone has to backpack the Desolator. I don't care who it is, but just don't have this in the base. If you're going for like a rat play or base trace, like you need that.
Ballsy TP coming through is top of the smoke. They're trying to make a bit of a wraparound. They'll see the DD rune as well on the top side of the river.
Okay, so we've got all of Radiant's tier 5s. Before a fight breaks out, is there any ones that we should be paying attention to through the team fights?
I mean, the Seer Stone is going to be really nice just for the information, right? It feels like the Weaver, the Pugna, the Lion, they're going to be ones trying to... Hell was that? Oh, the Force Boots. They're going to be the ones trying to be a little bit less visible, right? So you just use the scan, harkens back to StarCraft playing Terran. You might be able to catch someone out with, of course, the effectiveness of the Puck wasn't forced to use the buyback either. That's the key component for this, for NIGMA Galaxy. They breathing a sigh of relief for that.
Is Book of Shadows actually decent this game? I don't goddamn know.
I hate it. Like, well, what does it do? Like, it makes you ethereal, basically. But, like, what do you really want to do that for? I'm not a fan.
So it's untargetable, but can use AoE abilities on him? Aight.
What is there, though, outside of, like, Pugna?
Yeah, nothing. Like kisses, that's... Okay, so, do you see Mommy's got Refresher?
I mean, now it makes sense because he's got the Hex, at least. So, but he didn't previously, so I was like, what?
What? Okay, what?
It's all about just killing this Puck. And, unless I'm wrong, they're running pretty damn low or they're out of smokes right now. So, actually, Nature's Prophet, he's just holding the Stygian Desolator. No more Ascetics Cap for him. He's just going into the pure damage. So, it's a risky play to be making. I suppose he's got the buyback. We might need to do a little bit of an additional buyback. A whole of them are now available.
Raiden got some incredible vision up top. He doesn't get the the catch on Polyson. Is it gem available on Dire? Because I know they lost it 5 minutes ago, but
it was in their base somewhere. 2. And he dropped 1 in the base. I think Snapfire is holding 1 as well, so I don't know if it's going to be available.
They're setting up top. The trap's been sprung. Mizu instant with a backpack is going to use the first fall of the team fight of the moment in your dream. Oh, get rid of the lion. To the park. Where's posturing the moment? He's from the backlines. They've got the Hex but into the air disc, and this time he'll utilize the BKB, making sure there's no opportunity to get the Hex afterwards. They're raining down help. At least it's covering the retreat from NIGMA Galaxy. DB's also tipping the backline as well. It's just going to blink in instantly. It's going to be cautious to BKB. They don't have to get to lock him in place at the moment. Now in your dream, another round of the Wukong command. The Satanic, it's not enough. The chain control to stop away the life steal from the Nature's Prophet, but he's going to buy back, looking for the second round. Once again, however, Lim's going to be cautious. A dive for himself, a chaotic fight with all the ultimates cooled up at NIGMA Galaxy. They've run into a hard place as Puck's in trouble. Hex is out, but the damage is lacking. A force up back to safety's Alacrity. He's the Netherwalk got the kill. An instant buyback. Puck looking to rejoin. Still done. A 4-4, but they've also able to catch up. Mizu with the tree line as well. BKB, another round of the wall, back up and available. A buyback as well for the Monkey King. Looking to rejoin. Who's able to reign supreme? Mizu, how many refreshes? How many wars does he have available? The Nature's Prophet get controlled. A dieback. No Fury on available. The team fight reigns supreme.
Oh my god, this is like a light show. There's just so many walls around everywhere in a lot of these team fights. Can you imagine if they're able to kill that Puck a little bit earlier? DB took his time being able to rejoin the team fight, and it's going to be 3 people looking to defend against the full force of the NIGMA Galaxy push.
A buyback on Fury on, a buyback on Lion as well. Minutes in, NIGMA Galaxy in their first center barracks. Oh my lord, what a game we've got, what a series we got.
I mean, they have to just go for the end here, surely. You got the Stygian Desolator, you got that top of the regular Desolator.
Up to top they go.
16 armor. All of these towers that he's hitting, that's without any kind of little...
So at least T2 tower down bots. It will not be megged.
I mean, let's wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, they push so fast. We're conscious to provide the space. It's going to be forced out here. Got the initial Hex on Alacrity, so another Aeon pop. Not doing a whole lot of damage to the towers just yet. Wukong's now wasted.
Gotta commit, even without the Prophet.
Alacrity actually even committed. Oh, fall for more. Another round of the board just to provide the space. Meanwhile, in your dreams, you're doing the dirty work on the objectives. It's not gonna matter. Now the throne exposed. NIGMA Galaxy tie up the series. A 67-minute game. They were down 22,000 gold, but the comeback is real.
Oh, that's why we love Dota. You're never out of it. You know, you can be 22k down, they can be breaching a high ground, and one single team